So the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club at a Thursday night motorsport doubleheader continuing for you now, ladies and gentlemen. And all roads lead from Scotland to Spain, the two S's on a Thursday night. This is round number 4 of the latest season of the GSRC Porsche Cup, coming to you from the circuit at Barcelona, Catalunya, a venue that will be hosting the World Endurance Championship a little bit later on this season, with some recent changes that have been made to that calendar to combat the ongoing rubbish unfolding in the Middle East. And whenever they want to stop that measuring contest, it'll be nice to get back to business as usual as far as the World Motorsport calendar is concerned. There is the state of play at the moment. I wasn't aware of this until about 30 seconds ago, folks. We're bringing you the elite split tonight. There is no combined all-in split here. It is the elite split and the open split. The open split will, of course, be playing out simultaneously. We'll have the results from that at the end of the broadcast. But on the back of such huge numbers turning up for the sprint round last week, the club have opted to go back to where we were and leave it as it is, which is an interesting sign. It's a gamble because we know that the numbers have dwindled significantly as the season has played out in previous terms. Let's hope that isn't going to be the case here, although by the looks of this, when we've got 32 lining up on the grid, and I can see 5 names on my leaderboard here that have a red number next to a red background on their position on the totem pole at the moment. That means that there's been an onset, an arrival of some new members to this series, which bodes well for its longevity. Have a look at the points in just a tick. Now, I apologise. Mr. Blair is someone that I still haven't had a chance to get back to, but he reliably informs me that it is Wiley. I've been saying Willie for all this time because WY just thought it was a Y instead of an I, because you know what, some people can spell names with weird lettering and it still sounds the same. But no, it's Wiley Blair on top. 304 place, Scott Rankin 299, 293 for Luke Page, Ben Pedersen 291, and Jeff Adams 276. Corey Lazarus, Michael Vocci, then Paul Wood, Lachlan Capel, and Ryan Jones make up the top 10. There are 93 points covering 1st and 10th at the moment. Track conditions for this round of the series. We'll have a look at that for you as the cars line up on the grid here. If we can do that, there they are. Circuit 4.727 kilometres, and it is the historic configuration. Now, you had the right screen up there nearly. We can get rid of the track map. We can have a look at the grid. 4.727 kilometres, 25 kilometre an hour winds. They are strong. They are northeasterly. It is 27 degrees ambient, 44 on track, part of the cloudy conditions, dry and 57% humidity. We're kicking off at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a daylight saving afternoon in Europe. Just have a look at that. Beautiful. Corey Lazarus, Ben Pettis in the front row, looking to bounce back after their respective misfortunes in the Porsche Pro Invitational last night. Scott Rankin, the same. Eli Donaldson alongside them. Zach Kerr, Bradley Ratu, Luke Page, Michael Vocci, then Jared Knight and Sam Chapman make up the top 10. Chapman looking for a far better run here than what he had in race 3 of the Vs. Greg Cook alongside Luke Ellervoy in row 6, Luke Brooker and Mitch Noble. Row 7, Thomas Wilson and Mark Heppel 8, Wiley Blair and Hayo Ong from 9, Harrison Denbrinker and Luke King from 10. Michael Blades, Drew Collins, Aidan Rankin, John Akers, Adam Lavis, Paul Wood, Jeff Adams, David Webb, Sean Benici and Joe Della Rosa take us back to 30th. Jonas Degen, Jaden Wilcox, Dave Oliver and Matt Schmidtke make up this field. Is D. Oliver jumping in or not? Let's have a look. Where are we? We've got about 25 seconds. We've got a couple of stragglers, late bloomers. Late arrivals to the start line, fashionably late. Chapo wearing the number 1, jumping from 10th tonight. We're ready to rock and roll. Heppel, Noble and Oliver yet to take their place on the grid. We are set to go. Lazarus and Pettis in the front row. The run to the first corner is key. Good evening to you, Andrew Neal. Great to have you here. We'll hear from you in just a few moments as we get going. We're ready to rock and roll on a Thursday night. The dessert to the main course. We're underway in Spain. The circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. Great launch from Corey Lazarus, but look at Ben Pedersen forcing the issue on the inside. Side by side, Ryan Sim Racing looking to lead at 1, and here comes Scott Rankin down the inside. He'll slot into 3rd spot. Lazarus will have to yield. No contact and gone. I said he'd have to yield. I can see that happening every day of the week. Pedersen turned around and both the front row contenders walked out of it at turn 2. And it's a 40-minute race. They didn't need to do it. 3 wide further back as they try and sort themselves out. Luke Brooker's up 2 spots. Luke Ellervoy up 3. Jared Knight up 2. Chapo's up 5 spots already. And Eli Donaldson down there on the inside gets by Bradley Ratu. Trouble further back. Couple of cars out of turn 4 in a little bit of trouble. Pedersen and Lazarus rejoin at the back of the field. All 34 started. Plenty of cars with off-track alerts lighting up at the moment. Mechanical meatball flag for Luke King. Oh, it's all happening on the opening lap in Spain. The circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya, whether you like the circuit or not, I tend to think it's more favoured to the open wheel style of racing, but so far the fireworks have been unleashed. There's plenty of them in the early stages here in the GSRC Porsche Cup. Zach Kerr, brilliant start from him. Got by Scott Rankin down the back straight. Rankin led it momentarily. He's now defending his championship teammate there, Bradley Ratu for Logitech G Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport. Chapo up into 4th. He's got his teammate Eli Donaldson for company. The Vermilion duo sitting 4th and 5th, and Chapo up 6 spots on the opening lap. A dream start for him. Harrison Den Brinker up 6. Aidan Rankin up 9. So too Adam Lavis. 8 positions gained for Paul Wood and Jeff Adams. 9 for Sean Bonici and 13 for Schmitty already. Straight from the commentary box to the rear of the grid. And he's up 13 spots on the opening lap. Good evening to you, Andrew Neal. Nice to be back with you. Missing last night, of course. Well done to Jordan Pianazzola and Dale Sharp for deputising. But what a start. Look at the madness you've walked in on.
What a start. Great madness at the start. Fantastic start to the race. Here we go.
I need to come up for air, fair income. I'm struggling in the early stages. As I said from the outset today, I've been on the phone 5 hours continuously. You're not aware of this because you've only just arrived. I said to Schmitty, I have not got off the phone since 1 o'clock this afternoon till about 6 o'clock. The reason for that is documented in a little bit of detail, not the full detail, on my Facebook page at the moment. And then jump straight in here. Haven't even been to dinner yet, so that'll be an 11 o'clock proposition tonight. Through they go. If the voice box gives out, you might have to do the play-by-play for me. Zach Kerr, Scott Rankin, Bradley Rudder and Sam Chapman, the top 4. Luke Page in for 5th. Have a look at this battle we've picked up. That was Luke Brooker in 12th. He was fighting with Harrison Den Brinker for real estate there. Jared Knight under pressure now from Eli Donaldson and Michael Bocci on his outside. So that's not too bad. Luke Alavoy, not too bad, sitting there in 9th spot at the moment. Was it Luke that we heard from earlier that said he had the blackout in his neck of the woods? I think he got it sorted by the looks of this. Although he'll be treading with a degree of trepidation, I would say. He'll be aware that the power's a bit temperamental tonight, so if it carks it at any point, that'll be him done. It's a risk worth taking anyway, it would seem. Down the main straight, Wilson with a slow down to serve. You can see the top 30 on your screen. We started with 34, ladies and gentlemen. There's an asterisk next to Drew Collins, only because he's lit up with an open split background on his positional number there, 29th. You can see the yellow background, so that stands out like the proverbial, the dog's proverbial. There's no doubt about that. In a sea of black plates and yellow numbers and also the red plates, but we've already explained the red plates, the fact that they are yet to be allocated a split, but there's good reason why they've already been put up into the Elite Series. Let's have a look at the replay from the start. This was with Jared Knight. So you're going to see the contact between Pedersen and Lazarus at turn 2 here. This was Jared Knight's view off the start. Now, did he go to the inside? No, he just decided to play patient. And Chapo was already tearing through on the inside. Good positional gain there. The contact had already occurred, Lazarus and Pedersen. And they have a lot of work to do recovering from the back of the field. Luke King already showing out of business as well. And I'm wondering if that's your end or mine, Neely, that's hemorrhaging at the moment. I'm hoping it's yours and not mine.
I don't think it's mine. I'm good to go.
Because the Discord screen has frozen at my end, so I'm flying blind at the moment. That's the other reason I say that. I can see everything else. The timing's working, but I've lost the screen. So I'm going to have to call it blind for the moment, radio style. Zach Kerr, Scott Rankin, Bradley Radu, Sam Chapman, Luke Page, Eli Donaldson, Jared Knight, Michael Vocci, Luke Alavoy and Greg Cook. And it can't be mine either if you can hear me clearly and it's not an issue. Let us know if you're noticing anything at home, ladies and gentlemen, because I've got a frozen screen in front of me at the moment. But the timing totem pole is working beautifully. What would we be without a tech glitch on a Thursday night, eh? It's been a season for it, actually. Technology has been somewhat temperamental. That's as grainy as all buggery at the moment. I haven't lost the connection to the internet. I know that much. We'll push through. We'll persevere. We'll play on. And if it becomes horrible, then we'll have to bail out of it. But for the moment, we're good. I'm just going to stop watching for a moment, and then I'm going to reopen it and see if that does the trick.
Definitely you're in, Zach. I've had a look at Restream, and it says excellent stream health.
Okay. Yeah, I've lost the Discord stream at my end, so I'm going to have to keep pushing on here, flying blind at the moment, and hope that we can get something restored a little bit later on. And yet the internet, I've got no sign here whatsoever that the internet's playing up. So that's a strange one for right now.
Let me try and restart.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate that. Zach Kerr, Scott Rankin, Bradley Ratu, Sam Chapman, Luke Page, Eli Donaldson, Jared Knight, Michael Vocci, Luke Alavoy, and Greg Cook, the top 10 through the fourth lap of proceedings here. You're watching Thursday, well, most of you are watching Thursday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. That did the trick nearly. Now we've got footage coming in from the circuit of Barcelona and Catalunya. So the stream health was all right, but the internal Discord stream was absolutely atrocious. Rubbish. So we've sorted that out. Hopefully I didn't miss much. Hopefully I've been able to make sense of it whilst flying blind, ladies and gentlemen. The art of BSing serves me well, and also the experience in radio broadcasting over the course of many years. So Kerr leads it by 2.4. He's taken off. He's checked out. 1 minute 44.157. Let's round that back to 1 minute and 45 with regards to lap count here tonight. So we've got 1 and 2 is 3:30 and 2 is 7. 7 times 5 is 35, so 5 times 4 is 20, and give it 3 for the overlay on the back end of that. So I reckon 23 laps is probably a happy hunting ground tonight, with a little bit of overtime required to get it done, because obviously there'll be a compulsory transit of the lane, a splash and dash pit stop somewhere along the way as well. That's much better. I don't know what was going on there a moment ago, but it was not happy. Righto, Dan Brinker into 12th position at the moment. He's up 7 spots already. Good qualifying. Fire up Bradley. This thing doesn't turn Ratu. Yes. The fans of Bradley Ratu are throwing shade from the comments section. I love it when the Logitech Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport boys are in the house, because that's all they bring to the table is high quality banter. Oh dear. How'd last night go, Nearly? Because I'm flying a little bit blind with that. I haven't had a chance to watch the BMWs or the supercars yet.
Oh, what a great night of racing that was. So you'll have to go back and watch it for sure. High value.
And I'm not here for the next couple of weeks on a Wednesday night. I do come back for Lime Rock for the BMWs in 3 weeks' time, which I'm looking forward to. 15-second penalty, car 044. Thorn Wiggett, thank you. Rear contact with car 669 as we missed it. Now, that is no necessarily surprise, because that's Benny Pedersen being hit in the rear end and escorted off the road by Corey Lazarus. So 044 Corey, 669 was Benny Pedersen, for those of you playing along at home. As I said, had to see it going that way. On the back of the contact at turn 2 on lap 1. We might have another look at that if we can. This was some of the other garbage unfolding on that opening lap. Whoa! Wiley Blair. That's wild, all right. Don't forget, if you're not interested in watching the NRL or the AFL tonight, the Commonwealth Games are on when we're done, ladies and gentlemen, and they take you right through to 7:30 Eastern tomorrow morning. So a lot to be excited about there with the Commonwealth Games, including Pakistan in the javelin, which is on my screen at the moment as the field events continue from Glasgow. Of course, only today, tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday to go with the Commonwealth Games. There's the incident again, turn 1. Oh, geez. Now, Lazarus was there and there and there, but was there a little bit of movement, Benny trying to line up the corner and go through on the racing line and hit the apex? Let's have a look at that from the onboard of Corey, if we can, when you get a chance to cue it up, please, Andrew. I'm interested to see if the move was on, because we do see drivers go through their 2x2 regularly. or whether the path through the corner has just been wiped out from under Corey's feet. Let's have a look at this. This was lap 1, turn 1. We're having a look at the... Let's cue that up again and go with a different angle. Here we go. Let's have a look, see here. So he's wide, he's hanging tough, he's still in the white... Oh, actually, I'll tell you what, there's the defining moment. The oversteer. That's what's killed him. Yeah. The oversteer, because that will lead race control to deem that he didn't have control of the race car, which you would argue is correct. So, unfortunately, poor old Corey, forgetful night last night, was looking good in Austria, but he got wiped out. Wiped himself out in one instance, got wiped out in another, and unfortunately, that's all she wrote. So it'll be interesting to see how far back through the field they can claw their way. But the problem they've got is that the horse has already bolted, and without having transited the lane yet, Corey's got 15 seconds coming his way, which is going to drop him significantly down the order. This was Luke King. Have a look at that thing crabbing. It's not liking life. It's not happy at all.
I can't find where the impact was for Luke King.
No. Somewhere around that turn 4-5 section of the circuit, I'm having a guess. There were a few off-track alerts lighting up as we were focused on the leaders. They were making their way, through turn 4, turn 5. So we'll get back to that probably in the post-race show for you, ladies and gentlemen. We won't have a post-race show on a Monday night in week 6 after the Enduro because Adam Lavis has got a 3:45 alarm, stupid o'clock. And we have a race that's finishing just after 10:15 Eastern. So we're going to have to wrap it up and get out as quickly as we can to ensure that he gets some sort of sleep. But we will have, for the most part, normal programming for the balance of this season. Great to be with you 4 nights a week. The platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. There's Corey Lazarus, 15, and he's on the comeback trail. He's chasing Aidan Rankin at the moment. He's at the head of this 5-car train. In fact, make it 6 because Jeff Adams is trying to latch on and go with them. At the front, Rankin under pressure from Rado and Chapman and also Page, but they're 4.2 seconds behind Zach Kerr, who we saw arrive here a couple of weeks ago and tear it to shreds. No real surprise to see him out there when the whips are cracking right now and setting the pace, setting the benchmark for everybody else to try and match and follow. And Isaac Curtis was the other one that we saw a couple of weeks ago. He came in and lit the world on fire and exit between turn 4 and 5. Thank you, Luke King. So he's verifying that for you from pit lane. Unfortunately, his night is done. Wiley Blair's night is done as well, which means that David Webb is the last of the runners on the circuit down in 32nd position right now. Look at the off-track alerts as they come back onto the main straight. Commitment price from those guys back down across the start-finish line. Lap 9. Kerr, Rankin, Radu, Chapman, Page, Donaldson, Knight, Vocci, then Cook and Alavoy. Ahoy! The elbows are out. Chapman around the outside. A second hip and shoulder. That was Rado on Chapman, and now around the outside goes Luke Page, if you don't mind, and they are still running doors. Oh, this is good stuff. Have a look at this. Hello, Louis Greathead. Good evening to you. Good to have you on board, mate. On the inside, that was really forceful stuff. Firstly, Rado and Chapman. Rado was not letting Chapman through. It was as though his life depended on it, the way he defended third right there, because he knows that if Chapo can get through, he can have an open free crack at Rankin. And now, Chapo all of a sudden back on the defence, trying to keep Page at bay. Really good stuff here. The circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya, 15 minutes into 40. 25 to go. We're in the pit window. A few drivers have already stopped. Benny Pedersen included, Mark Heppel. Although Heppel on lap 1, probably put an asterisk next to that, probably needs to come back to pit lane again. Drew Collins lap 4, John Akers, David Webb, both on lap 5, although for Webb that was a second stop. So there might be a little bit of an asterisk over Benny Pedersen and Drew Collins. In fact, they stopped lap 4. Either that or they've nailed it and it is the critical number, because that means they've got to get probably 33 minutes out of their tyres, out of their second stint here, out of their fuel tank. Sorry, I'll get there eventually. Been a long day. 33 minutes. So that's a long time. That's 19 laps. As I said earlier, I think we're going 23 tonight, based purely and wholly and solely on the fact that I'm basing the timings on 1 minute 45 lap times to obviously cater for the trends in the pit lane and the pit stop. Not 1 minute 44, and even then, 1 minute 45 times it by 2, 3.5, 2, 7. 7 times 5, 35. You get that carryover of 15 seconds into the 41st minute, and that's without taking the transit into consideration. So I don't see any possible way in which this goes more than 23 laps. I'm glad to be proven wrong. Like, don't get me wrong, I won't say no to more racing. But what it means is the guys that have stopped lap 4 have to get 19 laps out of the tank. The guys that stop lap 5 have to get 18 out of their tank. So they're going to be pushing it. In every way, shape, in every sense of the word, in every way, shape or form. Kerr is gone. He's 5.5 seconds to the good. He's taken off and said, catch me if you can, boys. See you next Thursday. And Scott Rankin leads the chase for second. And you feel as though Bradley Ratu's job is to just hold station and not challenge his teammate, but defend third as though his life depends on it, because you can see them lining up. Luke Page, Sam Chapman trying to get by Ratu to have a crack at Rankin. Rankin's thinking about a championship banner, and Ellie's sitting second at the moment, and he's been given a free kick tonight. He should, if he stays there, lead this out of Spain as we get ready for round 5 at the Silverstone circuit next week, because his main championship opponent was Wiley Blair, who was leading the points race on 304, and he's out. He's gone. Luke Page is sitting there in 5th position at the moment. He's got to get by Chapo before he can get to Radu, before he can have a crack at Rankin. He's the next closest to Rankin, 6 points in arrears. And Benny Pedersen in trouble on the opening lap for that incident with Corey Lazarus. Jeff Adams too far back in the order. Corey Lazarus with the 15-second invoice hanging over his head. It's all opening up beautifully for Scotty Rankin, and that moment won't help Luke Page. So his chase is done as well. Jeff Adams and Paul Woods in the lane. This is all lining up quite nicely for S. Rankin to be atop of the points table in about 35 minutes' time. Or 25 even. Actually, Christ,
you have
18 minutes into
absolutely
it.
cursed Luke Page. I
have. I was going to say, Christ, we're 18 minutes into this race. I had no idea. Like, that's gone bloody quickly. Time flies when you're having fun. This is lap 11, but again, the maths is lining up for those of you playing along at home. We're on to lap 11. Off goes Luke Alavoine. Corey Lazarus fastest lap of the race on the comeback trial, back to 13th, but 15 seconds still drops him down at this stage to as low as 22nd, where Matt Schmidt resides right now. Yeah, we put the kiss of death on Luke Page. I feel sorry for him already. Zach Kerr, this is just a masterclass. Imagine getting him and Isaac Curtis in here on the same night. How good's that going to be?
Would be some amazing.
And Corey and Ben, without coming to blows at turn 1, throw them into the mix as well. And you've actually got a much better race at the top end of town than what you have right now. Because what you got right now is a bit one-sided. I just had confirmation come through from Joe Baldwin a few moments ago. And thank you, Trucker. Just reporting to me that we can see and hear you on the stream, mate. I would hope you couldn't see me because I don't have a camera on at the moment, Trucker, but the fact that you can hear me is a good thing. Because as I said, we worked out eventually that the problem was the stream that was coming through on Discord only, internally, from Mr. Neil to me, and I'm not sure what actually caused that. That was really weird, random, strange, and all those things. Bizarre. Even 6:29, big crash on pit entry. Thorn Weggett just reporting. Peep the Buzz Lightyear suit. 629. 629. That's Luke Page. So on the entry to the pits. So he's had another moment on the back of. Yeah. The Luke and Blair Sim Racing. Yeah. So game over for Wiley Blair already. Game over, it would seem, for the 629 Luke Page. Have a look at... Oh, no. There it is.
Oh,
bang.
that's awkward.
That's awkward. That breaks the car. And he'd already been to pit lane as well. So I think that puts a line right through him. Or was that... Actually, no, that was his first stop. I do apologise. but already the fact that he had, we might be able to tee up. Bless him racing. That's Wiley. So his pit entry is something that we need to have a look at based on the comment coming in from him, if we can tee that up by any chance, Andrew. Sorry, there's a lot going on here. I'm trying to get the bearings right. So obviously Luke Page has had the moment going on a pit lane. At the same time, we're getting rumored through that Wiley's had a moment as well. He's out of the race. Luke King's out of the race. They're done. Luke Page back in it, but out of the fight for the top positions. A, because of that moment. B, because he's Wiley. B, because he had that spin earlier and lost contact with the lead pack. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's two of them. Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, no, to be fair, he got the wall better. He didn't hit it as side on. He hit it more flush, straight on. And he went straight for it. Lined it up beautifully. Jonas Steger, Jaden Wilcox too. It's a pit lane right now. But yeah, race cars don't like making contact with concrete and coming to abrupt halts, it would seem. Sam Chapman. Now, Chapo is still chasing Ratu. Radu holding station here. But Chapo won't be too displeased with this, because this will fall perfectly into his lap with regards to the way he likes to go about his business. He could go out and take aim at Scott Rankin. He could go out in pursuit of him, try and beat him on the circuit. But watch him. It'll be pit lane. We know Chapo and the racecraft and the tricks of the trade. The tools at his disposal with regards to how he goes about trying to just one-up everybody on the fuel strat. Watch him try and leapfrog both Ratu and Rankin here, especially the longer he can stay in contact with them. The longer he can stay in vicinity, it works into his favour. It falls into his lap. The rest is up to him. He can't afford to put a foot wrong, but at the moment, I think he's happy because he knows how difficult Ratu is going to make life for him. I think he'd be happier to try and one-up Ratu on pit lane. Half race distance has come and gone, by the way, too, folks. 20 minutes in, 22 minutes in. We're on to lap 14, 23 minutes gone, 17 to go. As I say, 23 is probably your bingo card number tonight with regards to where we're racing. Your thoughts so far, Nelly? What have you made of it? What have you enjoyed?
Mate, the start was an absolute cracker. Very, very good racing. Looking forward to seeing what happens with the pit strategies and the fuel usage from especially Sam Chapman. See where that can get him on the undercut. Yeah, what a race. Lots of tactics happening out there.
Absolutely. We like a good strat race. And we didn't have that last week so much with the sprint round. We've got a good strat race. About a third of the field's pitted so far. Top 18 yet to stop. Matty Pedersen, the best place of anyone to have stopped so far, but 48 seconds off the pace. So probably put a line through him being in contention here. Isaac Curtis, yes, you have been summoned actually to come and take on this bloke, Zach Kerr. We saw what you did at the Fuji International Speedway, mate. It was brilliant. You tore it to shreds. We love watching you out there going at it with Corey Lazarus. But now this bloke's come in and just raised the bar again. Obviously gifted a free kick, by the way, in which Matty Pedersen and Corey Lazarus have come together at turn one. Mercedes putted, he's come through, taken the lead and absolutely taken off into the sunset in Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya, Spain. He 6.5 seconds up the road, but I reckon that we get you in there next week, put you two there to duke it out. I reckon we're in for an all-time classic. We loved what you brought to the table a couple of weeks ago. We couldn't help but notice that you've been an absentee ever since, but we look forward to seeing you back in the weeks ahead. I'll do anything to get more bums on seats and make for better entertainment at the front of the field, because it does get a little bit difficult to sell when the leader is out by 6.5 seconds. Zach Kerr, Scott Rankin, Bradley Radu, Sam Chapman, Eli Donaldson and Jared Knight, the top six at the moment. Knighty's having a good run, up 3 spots. Biggest positions gained, 9 for Dan Brinker, 11 for Rankin and Lavis, 18 for Schmidtke, but that all pales into significance until we see where the field falls into place after the pit stop phase has come and gone. Busy with work, lots of time away and long days. I'll be back to sort them out soon, says Isaac Curtis. I thought that must have been the case because, you know, that's just typical real world, isn't it? It just gets in the way of our fun. how dare it not take our schedule of racing into consideration? So yes, no, we get it, perfectly understandable, mate. Tear it to shreds at work. We look forward to seeing you back here soon. You're watching lap 15. It is the 26-minute mark coming and going. Zach Kerr, the leader. The next C Sports stable. The Logitech G-Orbit Drop Air Motorsport boys running 2-3. Chapo nipping at the heels of Ratu, but Ratu starting to lose contact with Rankin. So is this a case of now or never for Chapo? Does he need to line this up and get the run down the main straight to get out after Scotty Rankin? The margins last time through, Chapo was quicker. Chapo was quicker than Ratu, who was only a 10th off Rankin, but a 10th is as good as a mile at the moment when Rankin's got himself out of the slipstream, the toe. He's got himself out of that range. Was that Louis Greathead just saying he might come and have a play next week? I'm all for it. Good to see you in the chat thread anyway, mate. Keeping an eye on your teammates, of course. Round they go. Zach Kerr, Scott Rankin, Bradley Ratto and Sam Chapman, the top four. Eli Donaldson in for fifth.
Yes, it was Lewis Greathead, and we have Silverstone circuit next week.
We do indeed. I'm looking forward to that immensely. I've my phone is blowing up deluxe tonight. Jesus. We're going to have some fun when we get off air, ladies and gentlemen. Also, Zach needs to change his team to Vermilion Esports, says Lewis Greathead. I thought that might have been the case. So, can we get another look at Zach's car and livery? I thought that might have been the case, but I was just reading the team name as it appeared on screen. But that actually does look much better. Yes, when you actually get a good shot of the car and see the Fury sign there, that makes a little bit more sense as to why Louis got invested interest in the exploits of him and Chapman and Donaldson. So that makes it 3 Vermilions in the top 5 at the moment and 2 Logitechs, and we know that there's no love lost between those two stables. So this is spicy. This is good. Donaldson just still only 5th at the moment. He's a second clear of Jared Knight, and he's 3 seconds behind Chapo. Bang! Wiley Blair's moment again on replay, just to add insult to injury, I guess.
Why not?
Is that just a drive-by on what? Yeah. Hey, along on pit road now as well, actually. I'm not sure what the cause of that was, but he's been there for 2 minutes, so he's out of business from Malaysia. And great to see that one of the great circuits of the Helman Tilke era is going to be back on the Formula One calendar in October. It should be the Malaysian Grand Prix, sponsored by the Kingdom of Bahrain, but what would I know? There is Corey Lazarus in 9th place at the moment, so it's been a good fight back from him as well, but it'll amount to nothing, unfortunately, once the 15-second penalty gets applied, the invoice. And it'll be interesting to see if he wants to go and have a conversation with race control or not. We do have live race control. Thorn Weggett's in there. We have Tommy Cole in the open split as well, as they make their way through. 29 minutes gone so far. Don't forget, tomorrow night, GT1 Road Atlanta. We're hoping to be with you for that. And then, of course, the IndyCar Series from the streets of Long Beach. That will always deliver the action for you. I mean, the first 3 rounds have been brilliant. They've been on 3 different types of racetrack. They've been on street circuits. They've been on permanent road courses or street or permanent circuits, as we would call them, and also one oval thrown in for good measure. We've not had a dull moment on a Friday night. We won't do tomorrow night. Long Beach, everyone will have to bring their A game. Dave Oliver is pointing the wrong way at turn 1 and 2 and through the weeds and through the kitty litter and back onto the racetrack. Plenty of debris on this racetrack at the moment. Plenty of rocks have been dragged back on. But yes, we've got plenty to look forward to tomorrow night. A concrete canyon, so you'll see a couple of canoes out there at some point. But 65 minutes around Long Beach. What a way to spend a Friday night. In comes Adam Lavis. Greg Cook's already been in. So too Aidan Rankin and Mitchell Noble the last couple of laps. And Ben Pedersen there in position number 17. Was the best place of anyone to have stopped, but with that invoice that he copped on the opening lap, in the weeds himself, it was always likely that he would come out behind some of the would-be later pit stop competitors. Inside 10 minutes to go. Oh, geez, we're looking good for 23 too. Let's tick that one off the bingo card, ladies and gentlemen. But not that I'm gloating about that in any way, shape or form. As Zach Kerr makes his way around with a 6.5 second advantage over Scott Rankin. Let's wait and see if they're going to make their way in this time by. Thomas Wilson there in 8th spot. He's 17 seconds in arrears of Kerr. That's the only thing about Porsche racing. It's not like Formula V. These guys, once they spread out, they don't do it, half, insert next word here. They do it all the way. They spread out as wide as the parameters of the racetrack will allow them to. And that's Wilson going to 9th at the expense of Lazarus. But he'll get it back on count back once the invoice hits Corey's inbox. Back up on the inside, Wilson on the exit of turn 12. Through they go on the run down. 13, 14, back to the main straight. In comes Eli Donaldson. But yes, once they spread out in Porsche land, they spread out quickly and thinly. So you've seen a lot of that tonight. Yes, there are a couple of battle packs still raging around the circuit. At that margin, 6 seconds first to second. Rankin, Radu, Chapman all nipping at their heels. Lazarus back down the inside of Wilson, and in behind them is Dan Brinker. Dan Brinker having a dream run as well inside the top 10 at the moment. Donaldson comes back out in 10th as the best place of anyone to a stop. That's Chapman trying to get up on the inside of Radu. Are we about to see a successful move for third? No, Radu's on the defence for turn 5. And it's now or never for Chapo. He knows he needs to get out of pursuit of Rankin. They've lost ground with Scotty. Jared Knight holds down 5th. Cook, Schmidtke, 12th and 13th, Rankin 14th. Schmidty yet to stop, Blake yet to stop, top 9 yet to stop, and so too Joe De La Rosa at 18th. Everybody else has stopped. The field is cleansed to about the 3/4 of the field. About 3/4 of the field, 2/3 at least, have cleansed through the sequence of pit stops here. And we are 7 minutes from home. And Zach Kerr is going to make it 4 laps to go at the line. There will be no change from that. Will he come to pit lane this time by? Surely. Surely 19's the critical lap. We were looking at this earlier with a view to those that stopped. No, he's going to go around again. Those that stopped earlier stopped at about... Oh, bang into the wall goes Ratto! Ratto smacked the wall on the entry to pit lane! It's messy, it's ugly! Ratto becomes the latest casualty of the pit entry at the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. Advantage Chapman. He and Rankin can play on for a 20th lap in this stint. So that now takes away the uncertainty surrounding anyone that stopped with 18 to go or 19 to go, Andrew Neil. Looks like we're good.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now we've we've resorted to one answer replies from Central Directors Producers Chair. Excellent. I love it. He's never short of a word in the comment section, ladies and gentlemen.
I am looking forward to seeing the damage that Ratu comes out with after the hit with the wall. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised there's a bit of bent steering there.
Yeah, and I think Michael Blades has got a black flag. Michael Blades is going to plummet down the order here and rub himself out of contention. He's picked up a black flag coming into pit lane. Radu stopped with 6.15. Still got out ahead of Eli Donaldson. It was 1.6 seconds, but the damage compared to where he's going to pan out in relation to Rankin and Chapman, surely there's an invoice there. Surely there's an invoice there. With only 5.5 minutes to go and 3 laps at the line. Is this the critical lap for Zach Kerr, Scott Rankin, Sam Chapman, plus Jared Knight, Michael Lochy, Corey Lazarus, Thomas Wilson and Harrison Dent Brinker? And Matt Schmidtke's on the slow burn as well. So too is Joe De La Rosa. They're not going to factor in the equation here, but that's an impressive 20-lap run from them as well. Kerr is into pit lane. Rankin's going on. Chapman's going on. Whoa, this wasn't in the script. We're going 21. They're going to stop probably with 2 laps to go, and not for the first time this season either. Happy days.
Zach Kerr, fastest pit stop of the night. 5.313 seconds on the jacks.
Solid. Really solid. 5.18 also for Eli Donaldson. So bare hundredths of a second, thousandths of a second separating that. Is it 1 CPS? Yes, it is, Louis. 1 CPS, always. And you know how much your teammate loves the compulsory pit stop rules. I say that with a degree of sarcasm. 1 compulsory pit stop. So we will see these guys in the lane either this lap or next. Surely it has to be this lap. And Greathead will be on the blower to his Vermilion Esports teammates to make sure that they adhere to that. Chapo knows the requirements. He just hasn't made his way to pit lane yet. Thornweger, Zach has been keeping me awake through this run. Yeah, I think the same applies to a lot of people, actually. They can relate. Oh, boy. Rankin, Chapman, Knight, Lazarus, Wilson, Dembrinker, surely to pit road this time by. So too Schmidtke and also De La Rosa. Right, here we go. Rankin's in. Oh, they're sliding through. They're on the limit through the final corner. The 2 litres are in. Here is Zach Kerr about to inherit the lead once more. Our leaders are all in. It was expected. Kerr, 2 wheels in the dirt, coming onto the main straight. 2 laps to go at the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. And about half a minute of overtime coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. Stop the fight. She's over. 23's your number. We picked that from the outset. Here they come off pit road. Look at this. Look at this. Chapman's pit Rankin in the lane. Chapman's pit Rankin in the lane. They've both got Radu. The invoice was 2 seconds for Bradley. There he is, top a shot. Chapman's done it again. And now place the pressure right back on the Rankin with a view to the final 2 laps here. Andrew Neal, can Rankin return serve and find a way back to second?
I cannot believe Chapo has done 1.3 seconds less in pit stop.
I can. That's just
amazing.
Chapo doing Chapo things. It's ridiculous.
That pressure's going to be on now. Will he be able to hold Rankin off?
If you feel like a nightcap, ladies and gentlemen, 1 a.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock on the West Coast, 3 a.m. in New Zealand, the Diamonds in action against Northern Ireland at the Commonwealth Games. And I can only hope that the 7 Network actually give it the main channel treatment rather than palming us all off to 7 Plus for that over the coming hours. Considering the swimming program's done with and the athletics finals don't start till later in the morning, hopefully you'll see that on the main channel, the Diamonds in action against Northern Ireland. I think we saw the 6 a.m. games on replay this afternoon in the highlights show. In fact, the Tuesday morning game was being replayed in Wednesday's coverage. Oh, it's just been ridiculous. Tuesday night Scotland time, Wednesday morning. I went to sleep watching that this morning, the replay of the day before's game. So it'd be nice to see a live broadcast of the Diamonds match sometime before the grand final. Lewis Greathead, name a more iconic duo than Chapman and a fuel save. That's exactly right. White flag flies at the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. Is Barney on deck? I can't see him. Probably obstructed by the scoreboard there. He surely has to be on deck in Spain. It's not that hard to get to, surely. Oh, no. I stand corrected. There's Barney. Doing sweet you-know-what. Yeah, look at him. How good. Name a more iconic duo than Barney going missing in action. Dembrinker did well to jag that back. Under assault here from Cook. Down on the inside. Cook's going to 10th. But these guys are getting this back if the 15-second invoice handed to Corey Lazarus stands. So these two are duking it out for 9th technically. Chapo fending off Rankin, keeping him at bay. He'll be loving the fuel save. And Bradley Ratsu fell right into that trap. Yes, he thought he was running defence for Scott Rankin, but really he was just helping Chapo save fuel. It's worked beautifully for the Vermilion stable. They're going to go 1-2. Zach Kerr has absolutely torn it to shreds here at the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. 8.5 seconds to the good. Kerr into the final sector now. We're into overtime. And Zach Kerr is going to join the growing winners list in the GSRC Porsche Cup. Isaac Curtis a couple of weeks ago. Ben Pedersen as well. Last week we had Corey Lazarus into victory lane. Pedersen's got 2 wins this season. He got the feature last week. But there's your 4th different winner of the season in 5 races to start the campaign, ladies and gentlemen. Zach Kerr and Vermilion on top of the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. Chapo in for second. Rankin in the dirt on the way onto the main straight. Late lunch for third. It'll be to Noel Vale. Logitech Orbit Drop there go third and fourth. And Eli Donaldson rounds out the 5. Jared Knight, Corey Lazarus, Thomas Wilson, Michael Vocci and Harrison Dan Brinker with Greg Cook. So Dan Brinker got back by Cook. Dan Brinker got back by Cook. And Cook comes home 11th. As we say, we know there is a 15-second invoice hanging over the head of Corey Lazarus. So that's going to drop him down the order. I'll give you an idea as to how far in just a moment when we see the results board on your screen. It looks as though it'll be 17.9, so he's going to slot in right behind Luke Page. It'll be 12th, effectively, for Corey Lazarus, pending further discussion with race control, I would hazard a guess. Well, we had mixed views on how tonight was going to play out, Andrew Neil. We knew we were going to get absolute entertainment plus with the Formula Vs from Knockhill. Doesn't matter where you put them, they always turn it on. There were a few people not sold on what the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya would offer up with regards to the quality of the spectacle, but it hasn't disappointed as far as I'm concerned. How good was that?
That was a good bit of racing. Always nice to see a bit of feel straight in there from Chapo. Great win by Zach Kerr and a fantastic effort by Rankin.
Indeed. Oh, boy. How about that? What a start to Zach Kerr's involvement in the GSRC Porsche Cup on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. And that top 3, far better run for them than what they had last night in the Mazda Racing Porsche Pro Invitational. I'm getting my naming right. Sponsors mixed up. Sorry. I'm being thrown by the fact that we've got 2 Logitech Orbit Drop Bear Motorsport entries in the top 5. 3 Vermilions, though. Put a line through the Nexus. That is a Vermilion entry. You saw the team colours to verify that. And Zach Kerr on top of the summit. No further action. Luke Page, avoidable contact with Aidan Rankin on lap 22. We haven't seen that. Kurt Nommensen said that he was going to be an early departure tonight, that he wouldn't be able to join us post-race because he's got an early alarm tomorrow morning to go to work, but he's made a detour via race control before he departs the scene, and he's actually even made his way in to see us. So much for not popping in to say hello, Kurt. So I won't keep you long because I know beauty sleep is, of paramount importance and of, it's of the essence at the moment because there's not going to be much of it before you jump in to work tomorrow morning, mate. We have obviously been covering the elite split. I'm sure you're here to educate us on how the open split fared. Enlighten me, please. Educate us whilst I catch my breath on the back of a pulsating 40 minutes here in the elite split.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd jump in while there was no one here so that I can actually get some sleep after. But no, the open split was pretty good. I think there was very minimal accidents at the start even. Everyone was very well behaved and a lot of very, very clean racing. Wasn't the greatest. I had a little moment after the pits, but still ended up with a top 10, so I can't be too upset with all that at the end of it.
Indeed. So Zach Kerr, Sam Chapman, Scott Rankin, and Bradley Rudd are the top 4 here. Eli Donaldson in for 5th. Jared Knight 6th. Corey Lazarus, we believe, drops to 12th on the back of that 15-second penalty for the Turn 2 incident with Benny Pedersen, who recovered to get 15th in the end. So that's how costly the invoice was for him right off the bat, considering that he's been the foreman of the series. He had the pace to back it up with qualifying. It wasn't to be. Eli Donaldson's in the house. We'll hear from him in just a moment. So, Kurt, have you got the results there in front of you from the open split, mate? Are you able to enlighten our audience at home on who did what, where, why, and how?
Yeah, give me 2 seconds to pull it up.
Actually, don't worry. It's on our screen. Look at Andrew Neil. Finger on the pulse. Look at him go. Jackson Russ, Jordan Pianazola, Paul Wilson, Brad Keck, Jacob McIntyre, the top 5. Liam Amos, Luke Wegener, and Stephen Gallacher. Kurt Nommensen in for 9th. And hang on, I need you to zoom in on 10th for me there, please, Nearly. I've got not a hope in hell. Is that Glias?
Callum Glias.
Glias, G-L-U-Y-A-S?
Yep.
Glias? Yep.
Gluius.
I just couldn't make out because the for those of you playing along at home, I'm on a smaller screen than usual. But even then, it's a little bit grainy, and I was just trying to make out whether that was a G, a C, or an O. I was trying to play Wheel of Fortune on the fly. So Callum Gluius, the top 10, Wade Sheedy and Colin Bennett just outside. Hey, how steep was the field, Kurt?
It wasn't too bad. Even I think at the end of the race, I think I was only just over 10 seconds back from the lead. If I got my numbers correct, but no, it was pretty competitive. I think in quali we were within half a second was like the top 5. So yeah, it was really competitive and really good racing all the way through. At least the top 10 anyway.
Jared Knight, well played, well done, 6th in all of that, and a set of well-used Michelins for sale from his end for anybody that's interested. How good. Good to see HTS Racing doing their bit. Interesting to note as well, Kurt, that some of us weren't sure as to how this was going to play over 40 minutes. So I look at the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya, and I probably prefer it as an open wheel circuit, but there was nothing wrong with the quality of the racing we got here tonight.
No, it was really good, and you're actually able to make a lot of passes, especially going down this front straight. It was easy to get a run if you got a good exit out of the last corner. So it was really good racing, and I don't think I had really any complaints about the track in the car, other than maybe the heat. If they could cool the damn tracks down, I'd be pretty happy.
Can we just rewind that in a second, Neely? Because I'm swearing I saw a car go exit stage left out of turn 2. So the boys went right into the gravel, and then out of turn, there's everything that happened, Luke Page, etc. So that's where the car was broken and going no further. So that answers that. But who veered off the circuit to the left-hand side there? And was it or was it not the car that didn't make it beyond the opening lap? Let's have a look again. Let's have a look from on board here. Obviously, for those of you playing along at home, if you missed the start, Ben Pedersen, Corey Lazarus contact at turn 2. A bit of oversteer for Lazarus. Wore a 15-second invoice for it. We'll finish 12th. Benny Pedersen 15th. Let's have a look at this again. So Luke Page obviously was seen his exit. Luke King, I should say. There's Luke Pages, there's Luke Kings. I'm getting confused. So that was what happened to Kingy. Let's have a look at what happened here. I'm sure there was a car that went exit stage. Yeah, there it was. Yep. That was Wiley, wasn't it? That was Wiley Blair, I'm pretty certain. So that, and then his entrance into pit lane put a line through him for the night. Interesting stuff there. So it's interesting, isn't it, Kurt? So you've had a great run. You're noting, though, that you reckon if you could have avoided an incident or a mistake early in the piece, it could have been an extra couple of positions. But still a top 10 in what is, it is the second split, but it's still top quality field. That's nothing to turn your nose up at.
No, definitely not. I was crook earlier in the week, so I didn't get as much practice as I wanted, which definitely didn't help. But no, I'm pretty happy with the top 10. All things considered, had a little moment. Turn 2, hot track, hot tires, as they do, Porsche doing Porsche things. But no, other than that, it was really good top 10 result, and taking the pace away for next week, and hopefully I can go further.
Indeed. Let me go around the grounds before we get to next week, because I need to update everybody on what's going on here. Thursday night football, about 7 minutes to go in Townsville. Roosters 70, leading Cowboys 12. They could still outdo the clock here, which is extraordinary. It was 48-6 at halftime. AFL, Geelong only 17 points over Collingwood. The margin back to 17. The comeback on 71-54 at the moment, and they are, I want to say, just finishing the third quarter or deep into it at least. No, they've just started the fourth quarter. So 71-54 Collingwood on the comeback trail. I've got Scott Rankin standing by. I've got Eli Donaldson here. I'll finish with Kurt Nommensen in just a few moments. Haowong, Racing Room, contact. No further action. I think the penalty was there. It skipped off the screen before I had a chance to absorb all the information there. We've had a big day. We're looking forward to what's next as far as the racing schedule is concerned. Kurt, what's next for you, please, mate? And then lead me towards the Silverstone circuit and how you feel about 40 minutes around there, and whether or not we're going to need the gumboots and umbrellas.
Yeah, it'll probably just be next Thursday. I got work again on Monday, so not happy with work because that's 2 weeks in a row. I've had to miss the GT3s when I've had a competitive car. But
How
it is
rude of
what
the
it is.
real world to interfere with your actual leisurely fun and everything else, eh?
Yeah, that's it. But no, it wasn't too bad. So looking forward to next week, like next Thursday. I don't know if we're going to need the gun boots. I haven't even looked at the weather. I don't want to look at the weather if it's going to be rainy. I don't want to know until I get there.
So you prefer to fly blind than have the mental strain of having to think about it. Is that what you're saying?
At the moment, yeah, I don't want to think about the rain. I've got enough going on. I don't want to think about rain on top of it.
Very nicely done. Unfortunately, obviously, as you say, work first and everything else second. So we look forward to seeing you next Thursday night, mate. Well done. Thanks for sharing the intel with us with regards to what happened in the open split. It's great to see. I must say, as much as we're sitting here thinking, hang on, what's going on? We've gone from having an all-in server to having 2 split servers only for sprints to having split servers now for the balance of the season. It's nice to see Porsche racing healthy again on these platforms, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's strong numbers in both. So you make one mistake, and it definitely costs you a lot more than what it did the other season when we had to split up the field a few times.
All right, very nicely done. Thank you for that. Well done. Congratulations on 9th and a top 10 finish. Hopefully, bodes well for next week, rain or otherwise. Who would you like to thank before I let you go, buddy?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank AITX, Sudspeed, Kibby, Shaw 4x4, and Slady's Costworks.
All right, very nicely done. Thank you. The race winner from the open split standing by. We'll get to Jackson Russ in just a few moments. Thank you for that, Kurt. Enjoy the rest of your night, buddy.
Crazy, thank you.
Well, enjoy the Zeds, because there's not much else going on in your night. You're just looking at the back of your eyelids. Yeah, no. Early alarm for you tomorrow morning. We appreciate you hanging back for 5 to have a chat. Go well.
All right, thank you.
And by the way, for anyone else that might want to have a whinge about having an early alarm, he got in and gave us prior warning. So he got and he was first here post-race, so he got the preferential treatment on that regard. We got Eli Donaldson here. He said he was going to stop by for a chat post-race. We're looking forward to that. And what a night for the Vermilion Stable, 3 in the top 5. We'll hear about that very shortly. But I want to go to my colleague from the ASRG, Scotty Rankin, who led that race for a little bit, and then Zach Kerr had other ideas and just checked out and took off into a different postcode by the end of the night. That was a scintillating performance from him. A great effort from you, though, because a consistent result, a podium finish. We'll talk about the back end of the race in just a moment, but to lead the race, that must have been thrilling. And I think if I've done the numbers right, you probably lead the championship going away from here tonight as well.
Well, I was just actually looking at that myself. I just went digging for Willie's result, and it's a DNF for him. So no points on the table, and we're only a couple behind him heading into tonight. And that's what that one was like. We had the opportunity to take a little bit of a risk on fuel strategy and be aggressive into the pit lane. But being aggressive into the pit lane and taking a risk on fuel strategy does not win you championships when you're on the front foot. So that was a defensive move, but big play to Chapo. Like I always love going racing with him. And just before the final 2 laps, as soon as we come out of the pits, I basically said, good luck, mate. Have fun, and I'll see you on the other side. And muted up and went racing with him.
And on that subject, we probably will hear from Chapo a little bit later on. He's still kicking stones with regards to how Formula V finished for him, but he'll be a lot happier now that he's put a result on the board in the Porsches. What about Zach Kerr, though? I mean, just arrives and thrives. That was a really strong performance from him. Did any of you stand a chance of going with him, or was he just in a different league? That's a question for you, Scotty, if you're there.
Check,
hello?
Can you hear me now?
There is. Yeah.
I wasn't pressing the button hard enough. Yeah, look, just had a look at it. Zach Kerr was running the Porsche 996, the GTP. He had the GTP engine, mate. He's disqualified post-race, so Chapo wins.
Well, I mean, it gives you more points if that was the case going into second, but that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. Talk to me about I mean, obviously, I can't wait to hear it from Chapo's perspective, but do you think the fact that I know that Bradley Radu was there doing his own thing, he had a big cloud of the wall coming into pit lane, that rubbed him out of contention. It was pretty clear to us early on, Scott, that it's your championship, you're the one fighting for it. Bradley's just there to ride defence for Chapo, but in the end, do you reckon he aided or assisted Chapo in some way, shape or form to do some fuel saving along the way?
Chapo would have done exactly the same thing, whether he was behind me or whether he was behind Brad. So I knew that. I know Chapo, and generally Chapo and I are the kind of guys who actually both enjoyed the fuel save strategy. And I was the first one to pipe up on Discord to him and said, "Mate, are you fuel saving? Are you fuel saving?" Because I was fuel saving from the get go as well. And then, but it's swings and roundabouts really. That was a race of the left rear tire, not so much the turn and burn on it. Aided and abetted, but realistically, I should have locked in. I should have earned that win. Not win. Wasn't touching Zach tonight, but I should have earned P2. Put my head down and either fuel save stronger, look after the a lot of opportunities for me to lock in P2. And I was just saying to the stream and stuff as well. Like I can take a big risk with fuel strategy, but that's not going to win a championship. You know, letting Chapo go and just going, I've just got to make sure we're on the podium. Car 56 is in the right positions at the right times. Just lock it all down, put it all together and walk away with the points. And that's what it was about.
Indeed. And by the way, the Roosters have just gone to 80, ladies and gentlemen. So they'd already scored since we last checked the scores. It's now 80-12 with a kick to come and a minute and a half on the clock. The slaughter is over and they have put 14 tries on the board tonight. They're going to be very happy flying back from North Queensland tomorrow. What's the plan of attack from here, Scotty? Because obviously I can't help but feel sorry for you in the sense that we know that you've got good pace. We know that you've got the potential. You just haven't had a chance to really buy any luck in the Pro Series. But here on a Thursday night, things are looking remarkably good, mate. Second, okay, the last couple of weeks have been a little bit strayed from where you'd like them to be, 12th, 9th and 7th, but back on track tonight with the third. And all to play for as this championship goes forward. What's the play of attack from here to still be in contention when we get to week 10, buddy?
Planning things out, so I've got more time to practice and prepare. Is probably the big one. Dedicating more time into, and that's the whole point of me showing up and doing this series is just. I've said that last couple of times I've been in here. It's just I need time in the car. In terms of pace, Chapo and I, you show up each and every week, and between Chapo and I, one of us will be quicker one week, one of us will be quicker the other week. Like it's generally been pretty good, which is again why I like going racing with him. In terms of what we're capable of. Like going into the Pro Series last night, I was sitting there and I'm just going, mate, do I just give up sim racing? There's been nothing going on. I've got no pace. I've got no nothing, and then rattled off a 22nd and 17th. And as it turns out, after penalties, it's top 20 in both races. So it's a weird thing, sim racing, or just racing in general, really, isn't it? When you think you're driving well and you're really putting the work in, sometimes the results just keep running away from you, and then you put no work in and you're thinking, I've worked too hard, I haven't done enough work, all these other guys are just going to score me. It just comes together. So at the moment, it's just work on me, control what I can control. I'm not showing up here for a championship. I'm showing up because I love the car. That's the big thing. You'll never, ever pull me out of a Porsche Cup car. I just want to do laps in this thing all day. So.
And it's funny, right? Because we've heard such mixed response to this machine. But as you say, you're just happy to jump behind the wheel and have a fang. So what is it about this car that you like that everyone else is still trying to get to grips with?
It's the racing platform. When you have a look at like supercars, GT3s, GTPs, like they all suffer from the dirty air too much. And you kind of can't really like... I was racing in another series on Sunday night in GT3s at this exact racetrack. I had half a second a lap pace advantage on guys and could not pass, could not get to them, could not pass, right? Now I can be within a couple tenths of somebody, follow them and have the opportunity that they make a mistake. I can put a move on them. It's a platform that rewards racing at the right times, rewards driving the car well, rewards, the inputs. I'm not going to sit here and defend the car. It's not the greatest platform. There is issues with it, but it's a platform that allows us to go racing, and that's why I enjoy it. All the other stuff I've looked at, NASCAR, IndyCar, this thing, they're all cars that you can get side by side, you can race people with, and you can have a good time, and that's what it's about.
Interesting to note the comment there from Jordan Pianazzola. I can't help but notice we haven't seen Sam Chapman yet either. He's probably kicking stones.
He's on his way.
Over the as well. He will be here. We're being reliably informed. Thank you, Scotty. But Jordan's obviously got work commitments. He said, I'd love to come and chat, but work and still not happy with how the V's went. So hopefully he's in a better mood tomorrow night. We'll hear from Jordan then. This circuit, one you like or one you're happy to see the back of, Scotty? Because I looked at it at the start. I was like, hang on, who knows what sort of a show we're in for here? It can go, it can go either way. You can have an absolute cracker or you can have an absolute stinker. We got a cracker tonight. There's no doubt about that. But I've always looked at it as a circuit that I would say is better suited in terms of the spectacle to two wheels or open wheel four wheelers. From your standpoint, though, it's a circuit that you've had a good amount of time to get acquainted with over the last week.
Again, GT3s, no, absolutely not. This platform, yeah, look, you can go racing, you can do things, you can move around the racetrack and take bumps in different ways, and how you attack the curbs is. So it was quite reasonable. But mate, the fact that we actually had to sit down, think about how you were driving the car. First off, get the qualifying lap out of it and then drive it and protect that left rear tyre was fun. It was a tricky combination that you don't often get in circuit racing. If it was anything else, I probably would have hated life. I got to be honest with you. So, yeah, open wheelers, look, Formula 4s are too small to run around here. I don't race enough Formula 3 or Super Formula Lights to tell you much. So, realistically, only this car, I think, for this circuit works in terms of a racing platform and a show to put on.
All right, very nicely done. Stimmy towards, obviously, busy time of the year for you. We've got Bathurst coming up for the Supercar Invitational in a couple of weeks' time, and I'm looking forward to jumping in with you and Sam Mann for that. But we've got a fair bit of Porsche racing to get through between now and then. Obviously, a Porsche race at Bathurst in race week itself, 2 rounds here. Your immediate thoughts on the Silverstone circuit as that's our next stop?
Another one that's definitely going to challenge the car, but challenge it in a little bit different ways. Straights, you can still stretch the leg. Like, we weren't maxed out on wing tonight, and this is, if you're going to max out wing, interestingly enough, but the set I was on last night at Red Bull Ring was actually max wing for there. So tricky, challenging, place the car correctly, but look, Silverstone's actually quite a lot of fun to actually go turn a lap on something that isn't glued to the ground and that you've got to chase the car around. So I think it'll be another one that challenges the rear tyre again.
All right, mate, very nicely done. Any racing between now and then for you, or is it all broadcast?
All broadcast, except for Monday night NASCAR is the only thing I've got left, which is going to be a short track, I think, on Monday night. So it'll be a lot of fun, a lot of doors.
How's the left-hand turning treating you at the moment? You getting familiar with that, or would you like to go back right at some point?
No, It's really, really interesting because I've had a lot of people actually walk up to me and say, mate, it's been so good to see you racing of late, and man, you're driving out of your skull at the moment. And NASCAR is the place I see that the most. When you compare me to a lot of the people that have been around for a long period of time, I haven't really jumped ahead of a lot of people. So I'm a little bit frustrated in the way my circuit racing is going. I'm definitely enjoying the NASCAR at the moment though. So.
All right, mate, very nicely done. And I must say, it's bloody nice to see you back out there having a steer as well. And good to see that it is going so well at this point in time. I'm not sitting here trying to put the mocker on that when I say that. I genuinely mean that. I know we often will see any opportunity to throw you under the bus and vice versa. But no, it's great to see you out there, mate. You're in championship contention. Good 4 weeks. Obviously, you're the misfortune of Wiley Blair and a few others tonight to your advantage. You've got to take those breaks when they come your way, obviously. Game on for the next 6 rounds of the season. I must say, week 6, 7 and 8, 3 back-to-back sprint rounds. That's going to keep everybody on their toes.
Yeah, what are we? Autodromo Internazionale. There's Monza,
Hockenheim, Interlagos, Imola.
Monza. Yeah. Hockenheim, Interlagos. Interlagos?
Yep.
No, Imola, Monza. Yeah.
So sprint racing at Hockenheim and Interlagos and Imola back-to-back, 6, 7 and 8. And then Monza for a regular 40-minute sprint week 9. And then Super Sprint Road America. That'll be carnage.
You say that, but you never know. Sometimes it just throws something up. And I think the thing that we saw at Watkins Glen as well was that a little bit of strategy, a little bit of saving, and just if you can't clear someone, just harass them, and then fuel save, is always a way forward. Provided there's a pit stop, you always feel like you can do something. So yeah. Look, again, I'm just gonna have fun. The championships, mate. Championships far from my mind. I look at the points once a week and just go, yep, cool, and then forget about it and get back into race mode.
Last one before I let you thank some people. Bradley Ratu. I could imagine it was a little bit colourful when he made his way into pit lane and it all went wrong.
I actually wasn't on Discord with him tonight.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping you'd give us some comedy gold there, Scotty, but not to me. Very nicely done, mate. Who would you like to thank?
First and foremost, Brad Ratsu. Look, I tell you what, if the man could drive a Porsche Cup car, he would. Unfortunately, he was out there with us tonight, and that made things a lot more difficult for the entire field behind him. And probably more difficult for the mechanics who have to repair the car after he looked at a wall the wrong way. In the meantime, big shout out to all the team and all of the million guys. I was actually racing with Chapo and Eli and Zach tonight. It was just good fun, good buddies. So yeah, just everyone up and down the field and. Pedo and Corey Lazarus, if those two can keep tangling each and every week of the championship, it's going to be easy for me. So if they can keep that up, I'll love them for it.
All right, very nicely done. Really good to catch up with you, buddy. Thank you for that. Go and enjoy the rest of the night, and we'll hopefully have a chat this time next week.
Most importantly, before we get there, you have to chat to Jackson Russ, mate. Like the guy's very new to sim racing. He's been egging me on, trying to get me racing and doing more stuff. So I'm wrapped for him. I got some extremely excited messages from him when he won the race tonight. So
we're going to him very shortly. In fact, Eli, are you good to hold on until your teammate graces us with his presence?
Oh, if he shows up, we'll see what happens.
If he shows up. Yeah, I mean, I know he's running on South Australian time, but he's still recovering from hobnobbing with politicians last week. But
he runs on his own time.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully he'll be here at some point, which means whilst we wait for him, I will go to Jackson Russ. Scotty, hang there because, as you say, he's rather excited and wrapped, and so he should be. Hello, Jackson. Good evening to you, mate. As I said, we were flying a little bit blind. You may have heard the tail end of our chat with Kurt Nommensen there. We were flying blind with regards to the fact that we were covering the elite split. You guys are in the open, but to get a W, clearly an excited Jackson Russ is being introduced to the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club right now. Talk us through it, mate, and what this means, because, I mean, it's a great start to hopefully a very successful run of the Porsches for you.
Honestly, mate, kind of just jumped in. Didn't expect to win it, to be honest. Luckily, I had some guys spot me. I had your mate, Tom Bewley. He was in my back corner, same as JV. So I had the support there. But honestly, it was a pretty good race. Just an incident first corner. And then after that, it was just a simple drive. There was nothing really in front of me.
No, this is right. Now, I'm just having a look at Adam Laver's crunch the numbers at the moment. I can't help but think that you might be up with Scotty Rankin and the Elite Boys this time next week. Based on what I'm seeing here, that might be the early mail. That might be a little bit of a spoiler alert, a little bit of breaking news for you. Would you welcome the challenge of being immediately promoted up in the Elite split?
Look, I'd love to. Honestly, the friendly competition with Scott will be quite fun, as we're always egging each other on. But definitely keen to jump into the Elite.
Elijah, with some intel there on I missed that message because I was off looking at our Discord chat thread just to see if I could get some intel with regards to next week. But apparently, your boss at work was cheering you on tonight.
Nah, he's actually my apprentice at work. So he's been a little cheeky there.
Very nice. I must admit, I didn't see the whole comment come through, so I might have read that wrong. But we've got, by the way, folks, we've got Andrew Neal, we've got Eli Donaldson standing by, and hopefully Chapo gracing us with his presence at some point. Neely, if you see him slide into the green room, drag him on in for me, please. We'll keep going here with Jackson. Tell us the Jackson Russ sim racing story, please. Obviously, you've got a good relationship, a good rapport with Scotty Rankin there, and this is the beginning of your journey with the GSRC, mate. What leads you to our corridors? Was it the feedback and the intel from everybody else saying this is the place to go racing, or was it something else entirely?
Honestly, I raced for Momentum Racing, and they said, look, if you want to get into a good league, head towards GSRC. So I gave it a crack last season, and kind of went a bit dormant. Did a little more practice and officials and stuff. But I come back now with a little more time under my belt, and apparently it's done well for me.
Certainly has. Practice is everything. But that's the point, isn't it? Like, you've heard Scotty talking about it. A few other guys have mentioned it. Even Corey Lazarus, who's a stalwart in this Porsche Caper, it's taken him a while to wrap his head around this new car. It has been a challenge that somewhat reinvented the wheel, hasn't it?
Yeah, look, I love this car, man. Scott got me into it. I was a big GT3 fan. And everyone says it's a pogo stick, but once you get in the rhythm, it's it's good fun.
It's still a pogo stick, but at least it's one that you can bear. Yes. Actually, I wonder there'll still be some intel from the likes of B. Pedersen, K. Lazarus, and a few others tonight that mentioned about this being a pogo stick. I am absolutely sure of it. I'm waiting for it as we speak. Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya, obviously a track over the course of 40 minutes that agreed with you, mate. Just talk us through the race from your standpoint, because as we know, we saw the result, a healthy win. What was it about the track and car combination that gelled for you?
Honestly, about 4 hours ago, I could not get this track.
Yep.
So I had to keep doing turn 1 and turn 2, but I could not do it. And I probably did that turn 50 times in a row, got it sorted. And yeah, it just started to all click. I mean, yeah, just Tom pretty much almost yelling at me saying, you need to do this, need to do that. And I guess, the tough love worked, and I was able to start getting it around the course.
Now, in saying all of that, let's highlight a couple of things here. For the benefit of everybody tuning in at home, the Formula V stalwart has finally joined us. The fuel save master has finally joined us. We'll hear from Sam Chapman and Eli Donaldson.
I've been here the whole time, Zach.
In just a few moments.
You're saving Phil getting in here.
We actually just said, that it was made in the comments, name a more iconic duo than Chapo and a fuel save, and we couldn't come up with anything, quite frankly, because that's what he does. That's what he's synonymous for, but we'll hear from him shortly. Scotty's still there. Jackson, Momentum, how's everything going there at the moment, mate? I mean, obviously, anyone that watches the next tier up, the next step up the pyramid, anything that Scotty Rankin is commentating with the Logitech G Pro Invitational Series, the Mazda Racing Porsche Invitational, which I'm happy to lend my vocals to. They're familiar with Momentum as a stable, but how's everything shaping up there for the balance of the season, please?
Look, it's going pretty good. I know Tom, Wittes, and Brock, they're putting in the time, especially in the Moza Pro Series. And they're doing pretty well. I know Tom, he's about to compete in a North American League tomorrow, which he's pretty keen for. But no, everything in Momentum's going pretty well. Everyone's putting their head down at the moment. We're getting quicker and quicker. So.
Indeed, it's great to watch the and Scotty, you know what I'm going to say here. The way in which the league racing is feeding the competition racing and vice versa. The guys that are racing here, some of them are breaking their way into the ASRG level of competition. It's that next step up in not in terms of, well, I don't want to say professionalism, because we'd like to think that we're a professional sort of outfit here, what we do, but you know what I'm saying. It's that next step up the pyramid. We're like Super 2 to supercars, and that's where you guys are. But I love how both entities are feeding one another at the moment. The guys that are racing on a Wednesday night in the Porsches are coming here to race on a Thursday night to hone their racecraft. The guys that are racing here are trying their hand and trying to get an invite, a ticket into the big dances, the place where you want to be with regards to getting the attention of those whose eyeballs are on sim racing in this country. Because when it comes to the upper echelons, it is the ASRG, and then everything somewhat falls in under that, doesn't it? That was for you, Scotty, if you're still there.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's got to be a pathway, right? At the end of the day, there absolutely has to be a pathway. People have got to develop. People have got to have somewhere to develop. And I think the critical thing is a critical mass of drivers. There's no point 15 cars being out on track if they're all 0.3 of a second away from each other. That's not racing. That's not developing your skill set at the end of the day. But yeah, but at the same time, I think it comes down to each and every single team in the region. If there's somebody that's in and around the team and and they're thinking about having a go and stepping up. It's empowerment, I think, is the big thing that I whenever I'm talking to people, I'm always trying to find team relationships that'll work, because, you know, more heads that are working together, the better the scene becomes as a whole. So.
Exactly. Very nicely done. And Jackson, from your standpoint, mate, you mentioned GT3. Will we see you popping up in these corridors on a more regular basis, mate, having a crack at either our GT3 offering on a Monday night or our supercars on a Wednesday night when the Logitech stuff's not on and when the Mozza Racing stuff's not on?
Yeah, I mean, GSRC is a really good place to be. I came fourth in the silver split in GT3. Unfortunately, I got wrecked in the feature race. T1 in Adelaide. It's not a good corner, as we all know, and there's a bunch of people trying to get in it. But no, I absolutely love this league and the people in it, especially all the stewards. Everyone, you know, puts the time in to make it, you know, what it is. So, yeah, no, I love it here.
Excellent. Very nicely done. And as I say, as I'm looking at the stat sheet being updated tonight, looks as though you're going to keep the race win, but the round win will go to Jordan Pianazzola, with you being promoted up into the elite split, if what I'm reading is correct at the moment. Nothing official, nothing finalised just yet, but I'm watching Adam Lavis tinker with the points table, because he's the one that updates all of that for us post-race. He might be going through applying penalties and other things at the moment and alerting some drivers that, hang on, you weren't in the right split tonight. Sort yourself out for next week. So there's a lot to be excited about there. Obviously, nice of you to do what Harry Dan Brinker did last week, arrive and just dominate in that split. He got an instant promotion up here into the elite split as well. It would seem as though you're accepting the same invitation. Your immediate thoughts on the Silverstone circuit, which is our next stop in this series?
Honestly, don't believe I've really ever raced there, so I'm going to have to definitely hone in on the track, you know, really learn it. But no, I'm really excited. I mean, like I said, and Scott said, I'm still quite new, so I'm still purchasing tracks week by week, kind of just diving into it and hoping it sticks. So yeah, just got a bit of time to learn, yeah.
All right, very nicely done. I'm not sure if there's anything else to add to that. We just say welcome to the elite split. We can't wait to see you out there tearing it up alongside the likes of Scotty and Eli and Chapo next Thursday night, mate. It'll be interesting to see where you slide in, considering that you've torn it to shreds in the open split this week. So well done on that. Good luck to you on the momentum stable for the rest of the season. We know it's a very busy period in the Australian sim racing schedule, with Bathurst week only a couple of weeks away. So well done. Who would you like to thank, apart from Scotty, of course, because I've already mentioned him a couple of times?
No, Tom Bewley and JV, definitely they're a big help, just in general, even in, you know, the race, but you know, momentum as well. There's always a place to, you know, ask questions. You know, for example, yesterday Brock, when we were just doing officials, he's giving me advice on the track and everything. So all the boys at Momentum are a big help to really, you know, push you forward. So yeah, no, the team, yeah, big shout out to them.
All right, very nicely done. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. We'll catch up with you boys at a later point in time. I suspect we'll be hearing more from both of you as the season goes on, with the results you're putting on the board at the moment. Jackson, congratulations. Great win tonight. We can't wait to see what you bring to the table with the promotion to the elite split next week. Go well, boys. Enjoy the weekend.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Scotty. Well done. And last but certainly not least, to the Vermilion stable. Nice of you to finally join us, Chapo. Nice of us to grace us with your presence.
Yeah, no worries. I was just trying to get Zach Kerr a Discord invite. I don't think we've managed to sort it. So I'll be the lead Vermilion driver tonight.
Right, we will have to have a chat with him at a later point in time. Really, that was brilliant from your teammate. Checked out early, got past Rankin on the opening lap, and then just took off, didn't he?
Yeah, mate, he's so fast. So, you know, as soon as I saw him join the server, I went, oh, okay, all right, we'll look at P2 maybe. And fortunately, that's where we ended up. So after a fairly torrid quali, that's happy with that. But yeah, no, he checked out, and once he got out ahead, yeah, I don't think there was too much stopping him. He's in fine form at the moment.
How have you recovered, firstly, from rubbing shoulders and hobnobbing with the upper echelons of a certain political party, and also from race 3 in Formula V? Are you done with the kicking at the stones?
Oh, yeah, I mean, upper echelons of political party, but obviously the lower echelons of society. So it's finally we're largely done with that, and I'm able to make it back for Thursday nights, fortunately.
How rude of them to schedule a national gathering.
I know this guy.
On the same night as you're supposed to be here racing Formula V and Porsche. And as soon as you weren't here, I was like, I bet any money you like, he's rubbing shoulders. And sure enough, you verified it that the only reason you didn't come home and race was because it would have meant saying no to a free meal. But at least we know who you can blame if the championship fight goes tits up this year.
Yeah, I can. And if I look in the Facebook comments section of anywhere on the internet, I'd be in safe company doing so. So,
absolutely. Hey, let's talk about a couple of other things here. All right, because there's a lot to pick apart. The reality of the matter is that we've got the Formula V series. I want to talk to you about a couple of things here, and I want to talk to Eli about his Porsche race. But can we get one comment firstly from you with regards to the Vs? Race 3 didn't go to plan, put a line through that. That's a DNF. You probably couldn't afford that in relation to John Merritt, who's your main championship opponent. You've got a little bit of ground to claw back now. Obviously, drop rounds come into the equation and other things, but you've already gifted one round to the opposition anyway, having not been here last week. But what the bloody hell happened in race 1, Chapo? Because you've gone exit stage left into the kitty litter on the opening lap and had to chase your tail from there.
Yeah, I know, it was shit. Yeah, I think, and I've got some racing drivers' excuses lined up.
He's dropped the S-bomb. Oh,
yeah, I know. It's late.
It is.
Yeah. So my racing drivers' excuses are: I've got new screens, which are great, but I'm still fiddling around my overlays. I was doing that on the grid, and playing around with sound. And going into that corner, So the difficulty was, I think, was that I was still in fourth, and I hadn't shifted down, and didn't hear that I hadn't shifted down. I just kept going straight, like, what the hell? And then just went off. So yeah, that was an ID 10T error on my behalf. So I was pretty fortunate to. I mean, we were quick. We had pace tonight, but
of course you were.
It was, after that, there's no making back too much. So back to fifth, and then, race 2, there's difficulty with Tony, and that's probably, that's a difficult one. It was probably on me, but, it was also chopping me off at the corner. So, that is what it is. And then, race 3 was just a joke, really. I couldn't avoid really either of them. The second one, someone forgot how to use their brakes as well while I was trying to go on the inside. So, that flipped me on my head, and, I'd already used my fast repair, so I couldn't even make 75%.
Which is unfortunate, but still a cracking race with Adam Lavis in the second race, though.
Yeah, it was. He's stuck to me. I mean, I had a few errors here and there that brought him back into it, which is sort of frustrating on my behalf. But was able to hold him off, which was good. He was right there all race. I was just trying to get as much of a margin as I could, really, just in case something went down in race control later.
Just in case. Oh, I love it. Stay with me, mate. Going to talk about your Porsche race in just a moment. Eli Donaldson's been very patiently waiting for your arrival, so we'll get to him now.
He's a good man.
He is. Very nice run from you tonight, albeit uneventful, and albeit it looked a little bit lonely towards the end there as well, mate. The top 4 sort of skipped clear. Zach in a different postcode. Sam keeping the Logitech boys honest. And then you in the top 5 to make it 3 in the top 5 for the team. Talk us through it.
My excuse is I'm not an ASRG Porsche driver. That's my excuse.
Oh.
I was the first non-ASRG driver. Other than Brad put himself in the fence after the race, but I was first non, so I'll take that.
I love it. Actually, Chapo, did we dare ask you about last night or not?
Oh man, yeah, well, I mean, did it to myself first race, trying to take an outside line on a wet track, and spun on the inside on another race, and
still did it.
what was that?
How good.
Someone else did it in front of you, and you still managed to find the fence. That's impressive.
Yeah, no, it's very good. And was unceremoniously taken out in one of the races, obviously, in a bit of a 3-wide situation. But oh well, I mean, we got points in all of them. I haven't changed position, I don't think. I'm probably still sitting about 15th. So if we keep plugging away, finding a bit of pace, maybe we can start nudging the top 10. It's not far away, but I'll need to find a bit more quality pace more than anything else. Like once you're in a spot, you can probably hold on to it to a large degree, but that quality pace just has not been there all season.
Indeed. Let's talk about a couple of other things here. Firstly, with you, Eli. So it's an interesting excuse that you mount, and it's a fair one too, because they're getting more racing time than you are in that series. There's no doubt about that. Which means when they combine it with racing time here, the interesting thing for you though is it's a bit of a cameo appearance at the moment. This isn't a full-time commitment. So 5th in a field of this quality and this calibre. And aided by the fact that the top 2 saw themselves out exit stage right, turn 2, lap 1, kind of all contributed for everything to fall into place for a top 5, and 3 in the top 5 for the team. That's a great showing for Vermilion.
Yeah, it was sort of good. We sort of went into turn 1, got a shit start. Went into turn 1 and just, I don't know, I was trying to dodge everyone. Obviously, I had Zach on my outside, had Chapo was somewhere back there, and before I know it, look back at Chapo's 5th into turn 2 or turn 3, and I was like, fuck did he come from? And then pretty much just let him go, because he's racing this championship potentially, and I'm, like you said, cameo, so I'm just happy to show up and race and drive and wobble around.
Dear. We're dropping bombs everywhere at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. It's great. Hey, listen, as we straighten up, any chance we'll see you make another cameo next week when we get to Silverstone or not?
I did plan to run this full time, and then I had a commitment last week, which was annoying, which I forgot about. So yes, I do plan on coming back to race this series regularly, but it'll just depend on when life stuff happens. But yes, Silverstone is on the cards.
And how's the turning left caper going for you, please?
Blown 2 motors in 2 weeks. How good?
Oh no.
One was a skill issue. I downshifted instead of upshifting on the restart. The other one was I saw the inside of Cody Deeth's car, so that was good. So yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying turning left at the moment. It's good.
Oh dear, I love it. Stay there. Got plenty more to chew the fat with you on in just a moment. Chapo, another fuel-saving masterclass from you. And how early were you lining that up as well? Because we've already heard from Scotty. I reckon he had the harder of the assignments there, because he was dragging you two along. So you, on the other hand, you've got Radu right in front of you, you've got Rankin right in front of you. You're able to sit back and play the patient game. So obviously, come the pit stop, you two have gone same lap, but you've been able to leapfrog him in pit lane and come away with second. Radu crashing into the wall on the entry to pit lane obviously helps that significantly. But at any point, were you wondering if you should pull the trigger and try and get past Radu sooner, considering that the margin was starting to extend beyond a second to Rankin, or not?
Yeah, I was. Scott was really kind to do that. Someone's got it. And it was great, because it was a mammoth lap 1. We went from 11th to 4th. Then just saw those two ahead, and Ratu was largely staying with him. Like Scott would eke out a bit ahead, and I'll go, oh, okay. But then Ratu would bring it back. I go, all right, we'll hold on to it for now. And then he had a bit of a wobble at one point, and I almost got him. But then just sort of pulled back in behind. So it was under consideration. Probably, the pace wasn't a huge amount better, I don't think. It was also Scott somewhat fooled me to an extent because he goes, a couple of laps in, he goes, I've saving so much, I pretty much don't have to put any fuel in. I was like, bloody hell, I have to put fuel in. What's going on here? So I started pulling back a bit, and clearly by that end point, he needed to put a bit more fuel in. I think he overfilled a little bit too, and I think I also hadn't done a pit lane entry. I was like, so what's the go with pit lane entry? And they're like, just send it in. So I did, and it worked. And clearly better than Bradley. So that was fortunate for me as well. So, I was very tight on margin too on that fuel. I almost put an extra litre in and then went, no, bugger it, we'll give this a shot. And, was able to come out ahead and hold on to it. But around here too, just with the heat of the track, laying off the throttle a bit, doing a bit of that save would have helped me towards the end of the race because Scott was looking after his tyres a lot more towards the start of the race there when I was sort of battling my way through.
Tyre wear seemed to be a big talking point right throughout the night. Eli, how was it for you, please?
No skill. Left-hand rear. I looked after it too well at the start. I let everyone bully me at the start and then lost some gap, and then I thought I was struggling, but I think it was clearly a skill issue. So, and then I put way too much fuel in it. So, just compound of skill issues tonight from me.
Compound indeed. By the way, Chapo, you mentioned tyre wear, but I wasn't surprised in the slightest to hear your comments about fuel. We know how much you detest the CPS requirements and regulations.
Yeah, absolutely do. This would be another classic where I probably could have lifted off halfway through the straight and made it home if I wanted to. But nevertheless, it's a brave new world. Fortunately, was able to still get there, but who knows if it was uncapped, you didn't have to pit with these artificial regulations, we might have been able to get Zach, but otherwise not. And the race winner is in the broadcast green room.
There we go.
So the bet of Vermilion driver is here to discuss.
I saw the welcome message come up on the Discord feed. I was like, he won't be too far away. We'll get to Zach. And how nice it is to have another Zach with the right spelling, by the way, in the house. We'll get to Mr. Kerr in just a moment. Let me finish with you, though, Chapo. In fact, you guys are going to stay here because you want to hear what Zach has to say, no doubt about that. But just to finish with you for the moment, Chapo, I'll come back and ask you guys about Silverstone in a moment. But and I've obviously got to ask you about how you feel about round 5 of Formula V before we go too much further as well, Chapo. But let's talk about the Porsche race more broadly. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because the championship is so competitive at the moment, and it's not lost on anybody how cutthroat it is and how difficult it's going to be made for you by the Logitech boys, by your own teammates, by the looks of this, to retain that number one. What have you got to do over the next couple of weeks? Is it consistency, or is there another trick in the arsenal there in which you have to lean upon to try and get the job done?
Oh, well, I've got to show up. So that helps. Yes, that helps. I mean, it's as I said, it's made pretty difficult by that first round and already being sort of over 60 points sort of off the pace after first round. But if you keep showing up, you don't send it off at turn 1, which I was thankful for the leaders for doing this race. Then you might be in it come the end of the season. It's a bit of a shuffle season at the moment. And if it's a Scott versus myself, like that could be quite an interesting battle because we're relatively similar. Relatively similar on pace. So, we'll see how it pans out. Obviously, hopefully we get more, we keep a few teammates in there. It's been nice to have a few in the Discord recently between, Scott and Eli and now Zach. So, I think Zach commented earlier, I might actually come do this. It'd be a bit of fun to do on a Thursday night, which not good for me getting more P1s.
No.
but good to have him around and maybe have someone to compare to.
Indeed. Blair's costing his team thousands of thousands. in panel parts, says Benny Pedersen. That's quite funny. It's been a big news day. There's a lot going on. So I've got one eye on the Commonwealth Games and the footy, one eye on my inbox, which is blowing up at the moment, one eye on the telly. There's a lot happening right now. One eye on these guys in the post-race show. I don't know where to look. Zach Kerr is here. It is great to have him in the house. I'm no longer the last name in the Discord queue at the moment, and that's very rare that happens over the course of 6 years here, let me tell you. Benny Pedersen, I'm a bit behind on the stream. I was going to say, I thought that might have been the case. And if you care to comment on turn 1, lap 1, feel free to do so. Let's bring Zach Kerr in right now. Mate, welcome aboard. I mean, obviously, anyone that's been watching the ASRG stuff, very familiar with what you bring to the table on a Wednesday night, but how nice to arrive here and smash it out of the park and tear it to shreds to the tune of the margin in which you did. Obviously, no doubt aided by what's gone on through the first corner for Benny and Corey Lazarus, of course. But well done. That was magnificent.
Yeah, very, very happy with all that. Definitely, probably not what I expected. Showed up about, 20 minutes, half an hour before. Started asking Scott, can I come have a hack tonight? So came in, wanted to hack, got the hack, and unfortunately put Chapo in his place.
Indeed. Now, yeah, absolutely. Towed it up, tore it to shreds. I'm very excited about what might happen, what sort of a contest we might have at the front of the field when we don't see an incident between the two on the front row on the opening lap, what they might have been able to offer up in way of a fight with you. Isaac Curtis come and tore it to shreds a couple of weeks ago. He hasn't. Hang on just one sec. Corey lost a little rear, but I only left just enough room when I had an acre to the right. Yeah, exactly. He could have been more conservative, but no. Let's get the elbows out from the start. They are due a good battle, and he says congrats to you, just Benny Pedersen. Great launch, you're right. It was an absolute rocket launch from you, Benny Pedersen. Unlucky. But Zach, I mean, take that into consideration. Take the absence of Isaac Curtis into consideration. He's already highlighted that we summoned him. We said we need him on the grid to go duke it out with you. We reckon there's a few cracking scraps awaiting us at the front of the field once everybody turns up and has good luck. Obviously, what happened at turn 1 couldn't happen, couldn't be helped. Corey had a little bit of oversteer, got loose into Benny, off they went, and the seas kind of parted for you as soon as you got by Scotty.
Oh, 100%. I think if those boys keep it on track, there'll be a good fight for the front. I know Lazarus and Pedersen both have pretty good pace in the car, so as long as those two don't wipe each other out next time, hopefully we can put on a good show for the broadcast. Indeed.
Now, was it the feedback and the niggle from the teammates here that got you in on this, or have you been watching on from the side thinking, hang on, I need to clear some time in the diary and the schedule and go and have at it? Because as we've seen, a lot of the guys here on a Thursday night are, of course, lining up on a Wednesday night in the Pro Series as well, mate. Scotty Rankin's already highlighted this is a good outlet in which to get more seat time, not necessarily with the tracks and calendar that we're racing on in the Pro Series, but just to get more comfortable and familiar with the car.
I think I saw the track. I'm a very big Barcelona fan, especially with this layout. It's probably the better layout instead of the final chicane. I need more seat time in the car if I want to close the gap to some of the guys at the front of the Porsche Pro Series, so I figured I might as well give it a crack. More seat time, the better. Hopefully bring some more pace and see if I can be around for some more Thursdays.
Indeed. Now let's talk about a couple of other things there. How are you finding the new car? Because obviously we look at it from where we're sitting and we think, oh, geez, he's got to grips with this. He's 8 seconds out. He's absolutely tearing it up. But we can't help but continue to highlight the challenge, the reinvention of the wheel that this has been for the entire sim racing community that goes Porsche racing. How have you enjoyed or not? How have you overseen the challenge of getting to grips with the 992.2?
I think the car is very different. I never drove either of the two before this very much, so I kind of came from a prototype and GT background, so
yeah,
assumed having TC and ABS it would be similar to a GT3, but with the bouncing and the less downforce, it's quite a challenge. But I think the least enjoyable part's probably the bouncing, but as soon as you figure out how to drive around it, it's actually quite an enjoyable car to drive.
Benny Patterson asks Zach if he misses the feel of the front wheels chirping on the edge of grip instead of this dead ABS thing, because he's very anti-ABS and traction control, whereas those creature comforts are something you guys have had to become familiar with. How much running did you do in the 992.1 before the 992.2 came to being?
Very little. Hardly drove the car, so never had any of the no TC and no ABS to deal with, so was just kind of new getting into this.
Interesting stuff. And the Vermilion Esports table, you guys just keep going from strength to strength to strength, don't you? I mean, obviously there's a mixed bag of results when we look at the Pro Series stuff, but here 3 in the top 5 and you at the front of the train, mate, setting the benchmark by the other teammates to try and match and follow. Chapo's already highlighting that his championship defence might be in a little bit of trouble if you hotshots keep on turning up. Would we expect to see, or can we expect to see you on a more regular basis going forward?
I reckon you will. Thursday night's another night that I have free, so will give me something to do every Thursday and see if I can finish off with a good result at the end of the championship.
All right, very nicely done. Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya, circuit that you like, obviously. What is it about this circuit that does it for you?
I think a lot of the high sweeping corners, something about them a lot of people will tend to struggle with, but it's something that I get to grip with pretty fast, and it's just something that I enjoy more than most tracks.
All right, very nicely done. What's next on your racing schedule, please? Because we know it expands beyond the Porsches. What does the next 7 days look like?
I think it starts off with Monday racing the Oscar series in NASCAR. So got a strong showing in NASCAR. Probably one of the things I do the most apart from everything else. So it'll be that, and then I think it'll be Porsche Pro in 2 weeks.
Just before we go any further, just how well represented are Vermilion on that grid? Because your 2 teammates also line up there, don't they?
They do, yes.
Yes. So is that like a team bonding experience, Chapo and Eli, or is it just coincidental that you all enjoy the NASCAR challenge?
Oh, it could be a team destroying experience at this rate. It's bust-ups galore, about a quarter of the grid, and people are yapping in chat. So it's dramas, but it's good. Zach's usually way out in the distance compared to us anyway. He's better at us at that as well, unfortunately. So, yeah, I mean, it actually sort of is. You know, it's one thing that like a good chunk of us all do. So, you know, it probably does get the team, you know, largely together. You know, even if there is some beef, because yeah, usually on track in NASCAR there's a little bit going on and a lot of death.
Yeah, a lot of death. Okay, immediate thoughts, Eli and Zach. Firstly, on the Silverstone circuit next week, we might start with you, Zach.
Another European circuit. Well, technically European, yeah. Anything foreign, I've got a lot of laps at, so should be pretty good. Not sure how the car will handle that, but we'll be able to tune something up for it.
Right, very nicely done. And as for you, Eli, what are your immediate thoughts on next Thursday night, and whether or not we might need to think about packing the raincoat, the umbrella, the gumboots?
I was just about to look at that. I'm pulling the server up as we speak to see what's going to happen. Oh, mostly cloudy. Boring. Where's the rain?
Agreed.
Oh, hold on.
Hang on.
Hold on.
Not
There's some rain before the race, so maybe wet to dry track. That'd be fun. Stay off the verges.
Why not?
Don't hit the curbs. That's my type of racing. No, like Zach said, sort of. It'd be a challenge for these cars. Obviously, Silverstone's developed for more cars built with more downforce, so it's going to be a lot of waiting on the throttle to get the front end turned in. So it'll be some interesting racing. Maybe a few dive bombs, but yeah, it should be fun.
All right, very nicely done. And Chapo, obviously, twofold question with you because the Formula V's next week. They head into the Ritz-Kogen Motor Centre in Norway first and then off to Silverstone. You couldn't get two polar opposite circuits, could you? But I guess the same probably applies to Knock Hill and the circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya.
I would say it does, probably even more so. I quite like Ritz-Kogen. I've done a few laps around there. In fact, I think we needed to do it to qualify for Porsche Cup, so in a bit of a different rear engine vehicle. So I quite like Ritz-Kogen in the V's. I think that'll be quite good. It'll be a bit of a game of skill. So that will be fun. I'll try and survive. Hopefully give John a bit of a run for his money, and he's had 3 round wins on the trot now, so he's certainly eking a lead. But yeah, no, that'll be good. And then hopefully, I sort of hope for rain at Silverstone, but I was a bit washed in the rain last night, so my wet weather confidence is a bit in the bin. Fingers crossed though, we can pull it together.
Fingers crossed indeed. Looking forward to that immensely. Any more comments from you boys? Actually, Andrew Neil, have you got anything to ask these 3 while we've still got them that I might not have covered off?
No, I don't think so. Good night of racing from him, though. I really enjoyed watching.
Andrew Neil wants to go to bed.
Yeah, true. I can't help but think that I might have forgotten something along the way here. But obviously, we get to see Chapo and Zach tear it to shreds in the Mazda Racing Porsche Pro Invitational Series. We get to see Eli in a cameo appearance capacity here in the Porsches, hopefully on a more regular basis. But we're looking forward to next week, gentlemen. I'll go from bottom to top. I'll go Zach, Chapo, Eli. Who would you boys like to thank? Start with you, race winner.
Big thanks to all the Vermilion guys, Puri for sponsoring the car, Homo Setups for helping all our setup needs, Lewis Greyhead Online Coaching, Ben Faulkner Media, Blaine from 27 Designs for our beautiful looking paints, and you guys for the broadcast and everything.
Well, I was going to say, Louis Greathead was watching on from the side with a big smile, size of a Cheshire cat on his face, no doubt. But the interesting thing in all of that was that we might have thrown the reel in to try and reel him in with a little bit of bait on it to see if he might take it and come and join you guys out there on circuit. He hasn't ruled it out. So maybe an expanded presence from the Vermilion stable in the coming weeks on the platforms of the GSRC as far as the Porsche Cup is concerned. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you, boys. That's been good fun. Go well. Zach, congratulations to you. Chapo, who would you like to thank, please?
Oh, well, Zach's done most of the run, so I'd just like to thank the leading pack for giving me a path through on lap 1.
And also the Labor government for not having everything on Thursday nights, or something on every Thursday night, I should say. And Eli Donaldson, to you.
No, Zach's clearly media trained better than what Chapo and I are. So he's hit them all on the head. Clearly, we've got
he's on the podium more often.
I might need to see if I can.
Fair share of interviews.
I was going to say, I might need to see if I can swindle my way into an ASRG wildcard or something, so I can do some more laps by the sounds of it. So that'd be the only thing I need to try and do, but who knows how to do that.
All right, very nicely done. Been a big news day in Australian motorsport, boys. So I appreciate you hanging back and having a quick chat here post-race as far as the Porsche Cup offering. Congratulations to the 3 of you on your top 5 finishes tonight. Chapo, well done on the race 2 win in Formula V. We won't talk about race 3, and we'll obviously look forward to seeing you restore order next week. Johnny Merritt's going to be bloody tough to beat again. Enjoy the night, enjoy the weekend, boys. Go well.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Very nicely done. Final thoughts from you, Andrew Neil. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. Props to our teammate, Matt Schmidtke, who did the baton change with you at half-time. That was a brilliant drive through the field from him, I thought.
Yes, it was. I was doing some other stuff, so I didn't take too much notice, but yeah.
Oh, dear. When are you next on track, please? Tomorrow night?
For me, I'll be back on Monday night. Hopefully,
Monday.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, I might actually finish a race, but we'll see how we go. Hey, before we go, we've got some Premiership points to go through. We didn't go through last night.
I was gonna lead us there. Oh, you didn't go through last night's. Oh,
yeah, we
well,
didn't go through last night's either.
yes.
So we got the BMWs and as well as the V8s to get through as well.
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, strap in, buckle up, go and make another coffee. We'll be here for another 15 minutes yet. This will be fantastic. So let's start. I'm just opening them up on my screen here just so that I've got a little bit bolder, clearer font to work with, ladies and gentlemen. So last night, and this is going to be a spoiler alert for me. I won't be able to go back and watch these now because I'll know exactly what the bloody hell's happened. Andrew Dyson winning last night at the Circuit of Spa-Francorchamps. Oh, what a surprise! Have a look at the line he's put through the season so far. 4 race wins from 5 starts. He got the job done from Johnny Merritt, and also Adam Funslow was 3rd for the round. How did he manage that when he was 6th across the line? Bonus points. Have a look at him. 0 incident points. There's the bonus for you. So as far as the results in the race were concerned, I need to scroll down. 3rd and equal 3rd for the round. For Daniel McCrowan, if you don't mind. A high level of DNRs last night and DNS, because obviously a lot of our guys were off running in the Porsche Pro Invitational Series. Points, 376 for Johnny Merritt. Oh, it's opening up quite nicely for him, isn't it? 56 points clear. Adam Funslow, Andrew Dyson, 307. Guy Leach, 300, and Luke King, 298. 2 clear of Chris Henn. David Baz on 273 has 1 on Jeff Adams. 5 then back to Richard Brookfield on 267, and Dale Sharp straight out of the cockpit into the commentary box last night after finishing 15th. He sits 10th on 243 points. Righto, let's go to the supercars now. Lead me off with the elite split. Yep, that'll do. Alex Tzikis. Oh, hang on. Oh.
No, you're right. I've just got to exit the window out.
Oh, there we go. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Alex Tzikis on top, 437 leads Ryan Barber, 400, 392 for Ryan Nielsen, 387 for Sean Rigby. Andy Barber, 383, 357 for Wade Sheedy, 309 for Will Buchanan, 302 for Nathan Michael, James Scott, 273, and Ryan Cullen. Sam Cullen. Ryan Jones is just below him. Sorry, I've gone dyslexic on myself. Sam Cullen on 262 points in 10th place, up 4 spots last night with 3rd. First place went to James Scott. Surprise, surprise. 2nd in the race to Will Buchanan. Surprise, surprise. 5th in the race, but 3rd for the round with bonus points to Sean Rigby on 91 and 89 for Sam Cullen, 3rd for the race. Some interesting results there. There's no doubt about that. The breakdown, let me have a look at the top 10 here. 1, 2, 3, 4 Fords, 6 Chevs at the moment. No one crying, bitching, whinging or moaning about parity at this point. Jeff Adams leads the development split on 448 points. He's 20 points clear of Jamie Fleming, who has 40 on Jordan Pianazzola. First for the round last night, Adam Lavis there in 9th place. 2nd for the round was Daniel Snedden, who's somehow finished 3rd on points. Again, bonus points coming into the mix here. 3rd for the round, or 3rd for the race. A new name, Matthew Brown, with no incident points, got 97 pip. Daniel Snedden, 96. But Adam Lavis winning the round, but doesn't factor in the top 5 on the points table at the moment. A few DNRs early in the season mean that championship points table looks a little bit lopsided at the moment. Jordan Pianazzola, 388, 12 clear of Max Carroll. Jade Ant, 351. Daniel Snedden, 327. So too Jason Searman, Jake Partridge, Adam Lavis, Hayden Watson make up the top 10. And we have an even split of 5 and 5 there, Ford and Chev. At the end of round 4 of proceedings, we've still got 6 rounds to go. Porsche Cup or Formula V? Let's go Formula V. Let's go in chronological order. Let's go Formula V. We can update that for you now. And there you go. Let's have a look at that. So round points for the night. Johnny Merritt, what a surprise. 3 round wins on the trot for Hot Lap. And he's only managed to win 4 of those 9 races. But it's the fact that he's finished in the top 5 in all 9 that see him on the top of the summit at the moment as far as round runners are concerned. 3 weeks on the trot. 144 continues to climb up through the field. He's only 45 in arrears of Adam Lavis at the moment. Top 4 covered by 45. Top 6 covered by 67. Hilton Booth, despite the jump start tonight, got himself up into the top 5 at the expense of John Merritt. He has lost 1 spot though. 487 for Adam Lavis, 458 for Jordan Pianazzola, 453 for Michael Adams, John Merritt, 442, and Hilton Booth, 420. I like how we've only got 1 out of 4 categories where we actually have to worry about manufacturer diversification. and clarification, because it's all one-make racing apart from that. Back to what have we got? Ryan Tate, Tony Baker, Joel Hansen, Brendan Neal and Sam Chapman, the top 10. And at the moment, 116 points covers first and 10th. First for the round was John Merritt. Second for the round was 7th, 4th and 2nd was Tony Baker. Good result from T. Baker. Missed the opening round. That's why the championship points look a little bit lopsided. He and Merritt not here opening week. And third for the round. Geez, I've got to do some scrolling for this one. No, we've got a tie for second. That's why. Alexander Bergershirt, who got the win in race 3, 4th, 5th and 1st for the round, 135 points. So a tie for second for the round. So there will be no bronze medals on this occasion, ladies and gentlemen. Had there been so, it would have gone the way of Adam Lavis with 133 points. There you have it. Porsche elite split. Let's go there. Geez, we're not yet done, ladies and gentlemen. I told you to book out the next 15 minutes, didn't I? Round honours. Well, let's have a look at this. Remember, the points are rip and torn, done and dusted. Locked and loaded by Adam Lavis. 101 for Zach Kerr. Slots him into 39th. Just get a load of this. We have a three-way tie for 54. 56 drivers have lined up in the Porsche Elite Cup so far this season. That is extraordinary, considering that we couldn't get a handful here at the end of last campaign. Unbelievable. 101 for Zach Kerr puts him straight up into 39th position. So he's already climbed up 25% of the leaderboard. Second for the round tonight, Sam Chapman. Third, Scott Rankin. Rankin retains the lead in the points table, takes it away from Wiley Blair. Now, Blair's lost 6 spots as a result of the DNF. That's a costly blow to his aspirations. 24 points is the advantage first to second. Scott Rankin over Luke Page. 10 back to Ben Pedersen. Corey Lazarus, despite finishing 12th with that invoice. He hasn't contested it, by the way, by the looks of that. He's back 12th on 71 points for the night. 343 for the season so far. 45 points covers the top 4 and 11 back to Jeff Adams in 5th, who was only 17th across the line tonight. Michael Vocci 6th on 327, 304 for Wiley Blair. Then Paul Wood, Adam Lavis and Mitch Noble make up the top 10. There are 120 points between 1st and 10th at the moment in the Porsche Elite Split. The open split. Now, here's the caveat. Here's the catch-22. Jackson Russ has already been vaulted up into the Elite Split on the back of his win. It's kind of like win and get promoted at the moment. Harrison Denbrink did it last week, and Jackson Russ has done it this week. 75 points he takes with him from the open split into the Elite Split, and he will slot into position 45 on the points table at the moment. So your 2 winners from this week outside the top 35 on points in the Elite Split at the moment. Unbelievable stuff. The open split, with that in mind, the win gets handed to Jordan Pianazzola. So we're still filthy about Formula V, but glass half empty, glass half full. He's got a lot to cheer about with regards to the Porsche Cup. Second to Paul Wilson, third to Brad Keck in all of that on the back of his round win last week. Points, 391 for Paul Wilson. 10th is Todd Suter, 121 the difference there. So 120 in the top 10 in the Elite Split, 121 in the Open. How's that for some sort of consistency? Paul Wilson, 391, 387 for Wade Chitty. Liam Amos, 370, 361 for Jacob McIntyre, 341 for Jordan Pianazzola. 50 covers the top 5. 324 for Edward Rollo, 294 for Luke Wegener. Stephen Gallacher, 292. Jason Tierman, 291. And Todd Suter, 270. Get a load of that. 3 points covers, 7th, 8th and 9th at the moment. You can't afford to sneeze right there, right now. Hopefully everyone's got their numbers, their head wrapped around all those numbers. That's a lot to try and absorb this late on a Thursday night. A big win for Geelong in the AFL, 15-7-97 defeated Collingwood 10-12-72. I think for the first time this season, we're going to get out of here before 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Get a load of that, ladies and gentlemen, a rapid-fire post-race show. I reckon we've been stitched up because with over 60 drivers in the server and only to have 4 in the post-race show, something's gone awry there. Or actually 5 in the end it was because of the late arrival of Zach Kerr. We thought Chapo's arrival was late, but as he correctly pointed out, we had some issues setting Zach up with Discord access. How about that? 15-7-97 to 10-12-72, Geelong over Collingwood in the AFL. The Cowboys have been absolutely smashed by the Roosters in the NRL. 14 tries to 2, 82 points to 12. That is a shellacking and a half. There's no doubt about that. The Commonwealth Games continue tonight. The Diamonds in action from 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll see that live on the screens of 7, the athletics finals from early tomorrow morning as well. Now, looking further ahead, that's the agenda for us. That's the assignments that await a Thursday night participant and broadcaster on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. That's the road ahead. That's the path to championship supremacy. For the Porsches, at least, they go from here to Silverstone, from Silverstone to the Hockenheim Ring. We have back-to-back-to-back sprint races, round 6, 7, 8. Remember, next week marks the halfway mark of the season. And what a season it's shaping up to be. Sprint racing dominates week 6, 7 and 8, and super sprint racing in week 10. So you've got 10 races to look forward to across the next 5 weeks once we get to the start of the second half of the season in the Porsche Cup. Hockenheim into Interlagos and Imola. Then off to Monza, and that being a 40-minute race, that will be an absolute belter. Just because of the type of nature of the racing of the circuit that Monza is and what it offers up as a result of that. Then on to Road America for the Super Sprint on September 10, and that will be all guns blazing as well, because we'll have the Super Sprint finale for the Vs from the island before that. Then we'll have Road America for the Porsches. And the gloves will be off there because in both splits, invert top 8, invert top 12, race 2, race 3, they have nothing to lean on as far as strategy is concerned in the first 2 races. It's going to be all guns blazing, all out, elbows out sprint racing. Men's strategy in the third and final race. We've seen some great racing at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin in the past. That will take it to a whole new level. Championships will be on the line. The field's getting inverted twice. It whets the appetite. It's going to be an absolute grandstand finish to the season, an absolute grand final night for the ages to remember. There's no doubt about that. The Formula V schedule, just out of curiosity for those of you wanting to know where we're going there, the road ahead for them, that's the BMWs. So Oran Park and Long Beach in the weeks ahead for the BMWs. Then on to Lime Rock. I'm back for Lime Rock. I miss round 5, round 6, round 8, but I'm back for 7, 9 and 10. I believe that's right. I've had to fob off half of Wednesday night this term due to a very Porsche heavy schedule on a Wednesday night for our colleagues at the ASRG. That was great from the Red Bull Ring last night too, by the way. But I'm back for Lime Rock. The boys will be here next week, keeping the seat warm whilst I attend the Jim Jeffries comedy show. Then the week after, it's Bathurst for the Porsches. Then we go to Lime Rock, and I cannot wait for Lime Rock. It'll be an absolute beauty. Plenty of sprint racing ahead there, ladies and gentlemen. Round 6, round 8, round 9, and a super sprint round 10 from the Charlotte Roval. Hope you can join us for that. The supercar schedule, whilst we're here, we may as well keep going. That's what's ahead for the supercars. Why not? We'll just stretch this post-race show out a little bit further. Sebring next week. No. We had Phillip Island, so yes, it is Sebring next week. I'm getting thrown by the fact that last night's race is still lit up in green. It should be grey, but that's all right. Sebring next week. Then on to the Adelaide Street Circuit. I'm back for Qualcomm. I'm so excited about that. The new circuit in San Diego in Coronado. And then on to the Bend International, which I believe is the last one I missed. Then back for Road America in Long Beach to round out the season. So we're very excited about that. Road America in particular. For 60 minutes and then super sprint racing from the beach. There's the agenda. That's what's ahead for Formula V. Reeds Kogan Motor Centre next week. Then on to Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. That'll be compulsory viewing. That'll be, price of admission value through the roof. No doubt about that. The VIR North course. Excited to see what that delivers for the Formula V quality racing. Motorsport Arena Ostrich Sleben. Schmidtke flagging that as a potential circuit change on the calendar, but I've seen nothing to verify that just yet. So watch this space if there's a change to the schedule. We went to Tsukuba last season. It looks like we're going there again this season on September 3. And then we finished the season by going 5 wide at Phillip Island. We cannot wait for that. We do this thing that we call the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, with thanks to the great support of the people. Scrolling across the top and the bottom of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, Disruptive Labs, Flash Graphics, Waste Options, Trophy AI, and merch.tgsrci.com on what has been a monumental day for Australian motorsport. There's no doubt about that. My thanks to Andrew Neal and Matt Schmidtke. There's a look at what's coming your way. I'd be hedging your bets on a positive answer to whether this race will be broadcast tomorrow night or not, because we're 3 from 3 so far. I think Joe's sold himself short. I don't think he's taken the time difference into consideration, that it's only 2 hours at the moment, not 3. When it's 3, he puts a line straight through the entree and we just arrive for the main course. But I reckon it'll be 4 from 4 tomorrow night, and we'll be lining up to bring you the GT1 Civil War, and I look forward to that because it's sprint racing from Road Atlanta to get Friday Night Motorsport underway. If we are with you live, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, will be on air 7:25. If for whatever reason the streak that we're on comes to an end and we're not able to bring it to you, we'll be on air at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time to bring you all the action from the 48-lap race for the Disruptive Labs Road to Indy series on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, live, exclusive and free across Facebook and YouTube from Long Beach, California. 48 laps, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. And we'll, in that, if we aren't able to be with you for the entree, we'll bring you the main course, we'll bring you the results from the entree, we'll bring you the wheel spin for the mountain men to determine where they're going as far as what car of choice they'll be running for Saturday night's 32-lap excursion around the Mount Panorama circuit somewhere in the central western New South Wales. That's from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then week 5 gets underway. I can't believe that we're talking about the week that gets us to halfway already. Week number 5 gets underway with that on your itinerary, ladies and gentlemen. The Formula 103.5 Wings and Slicks live from the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit in Germany. That delivered the goods when we took the Formula 3 there. I think the Formula 103.5 will be no exception. 7:25 Eastern Standard Time. Adam Lavis and I with you for that. Then on to GT3, Platinum and Silver. So you saw gold and bronze last week, or this week. You're going to get your look at the other 2 splits next week for the second consecutive week of sprint racing off to the Hockenheimring in Germany. 2 sprint races there, 8:25 Eastern Standard Time. Silver first for the 21-minute sprint. 37-minute feature will be the Platinum split in focus. And that'll be the first time we've had a look at the Platinum split since the name changes took effect on the platforms of the GSRC. So that'll be your pro split. What used to be your pro split, that's the Platinum split now. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you were able to wrap your head around the explainer that went out earlier in the week with regards to what was what and what it's now becoming and what it's going to be known as going forward. Takes a while to get your head around, but we'll be good. Silver into Platinum on Monday night. Germany, a lot of interest in that circuit at the moment. A lot of reflection on 7 years ago being the last time they hosted a Formula 1 Grand Prix, and it was wet and it was chaotic and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of discussion going on behind the scenes at the moment because Stefano Domenicali has confirmed as of last night that, yes, Formula 1 have contingency plans in place, ready to implement come September. That's the cutoff point for them. The World Endurance Championship have already pulled the plug and said, look, Bahrain and Qatar out, Monza and Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya in, Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya first, Monza second. 6-hour races to see the season out for them instead of the usual 8-hour in Qatar and 1,812 kilometres in Qatar and 8 hours in Bahrain. So the streamlined usual 6-hour race for the final 2 rounds of the season back in Europe after they go to Kota and also to Asia to the Fuji International Speedway. So a lot of the circuits we've already been to or are going to this term on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club in focus for the WEC. Someone put it up yesterday. Would you like to see Formula 1 go back to because they've got Portimao and Imola, I think, highlighted as the contingency plan. But why other circuits aren't in the discussion will be purely a financial thing. I would love to see them try to go back to Mugello, though, because that was absolutely wild the last time they did that, back in the COVID year of 2020. Let's look ahead further. Brands Hatch Rallycross next week. Rallycross in focus for 3 races for you for the GSRC committee choice. That's Tuesday night, 7 p.m. That's when the server opens. Racing, of course, about an hour after that. Wednesday night, the boys are with... I must say, right, as much as I'm looking forward to Jim Jeffries because we've got a mutual love of words that begin with F and C, I'm disappointed to be missing out on that doubleheader. That'll be a beauty. 40 minutes around Oran Park in the BMW M Sport Cup, then on to the supercars from the Sebring International Raceway. Talking about pogo sticking and bumping and bobbing around, it's a bumpy circuit there. They'll be bumping around next Wednesday night from 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. You can join Andrew Neil, Dale Sharp and Jordan Pianazzola for that. Actually, no. You're away next week, aren't you? On the Wednesday, at least.
Yes, I am. I think I'm not sure what they're going to do at the moment. They're still trying to work that out in the background.
Okay, so watch this space with regards to what the hell's going to go on there. And if it has to be a replay and I have to jump in because the boys are working or whatever else, then so be it. I mean, it's just another one to add to the invoice, right? And then once we go from there to the usual offering that is the best ticket in town, Thursday Night Motorsport, to see us out. All hands back on deck. Me, Schmidtke and Neil will bring you 3 sprint races 13, 14 and 15 of the campaign for the Disruptive Labs Formula V Series from the Ridskogen Motor Centre in Norway. That's 7:25 Eastern Standard Time. Then on to the GSRC Porsche Cup from the Silverstone Circuit in England. 40 minutes there, 8:40 Eastern Standard Time. Hope you can join us for all of that. Wow, that's a lot to get through at near on 11 o'clock on a Thursday night. Yes, we have made it to 11 o'clock, and still it continues. For information with regards to the who, what, when, where, why, and how of the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, you can simply visit race.tgsrci.com if you want to sign up like Zach Kerrs and Isaac Curtises of the world have done over the course of this season, among many others, and get involved in what we do here. And in on-track capacity, that's where you need to go. You can also go there to contact your club if you want to get involved and sponsor anything of what we do here alongside our long-term mainstay commercial, corporate and business partners that we've got here that have been mainstay supporters of everything we do here on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and we couldn't do it without them. They're vitally integral to everything we do, and their support is ongoing and it's valued and it's appreciated. And if while you're there, simply replace race with merch.tgsrci.com, gsrcmerch.myshopify.com. Takes you to the same place. It's the merch store. Grab your hands around and purchase. Get your hands on some GSRC merch and paraphernalia. From the shirts to the singlets to the jumpers, which I needed one tonight, I must say. I might have to make a mid-season purchase of a GSRC jumper, just in case we do follow through with the... if we entertain the comment that came through into our broadcast a couple of weeks back nearly, we had someone saying, we need Zach commentator cam. We need him on camera during the race. We want to see what he's up to. And if we ever entertain that idea, yes, I'm going to need a GSRC. I've got the shirt, but I use it as a pajama shirt. I'm going to need one of the jumpers to just sport the branding as we go. So I might have to get my hands on some of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very good stuff. But yes, bucket hat, bottle opener, stubby cooler, etc., etc. They're all there. Get your hands on all of that. You won't be disappointed. It's great merch, and it's a good quality shirt. Let me tell you that one right there. Back in the days when we had Rockstar Volkswagen as the naming rights sponsor of the club. They were the days. We're going back a while now. Rockdale Volkswagen, my goodness. That's how long we've been here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 7th year of the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club, and we're humming along quite nicely. Cracking night of racing tonight. Knockhill delivered the goods, the thrills and the spills, and so did the Circuit of Barcelona, Catalunya. We've got a new first-time winner in GSRC Porsche Cup competition. His name is Zach Kerr. We've got also Jackson Russ, a name on the rise to keep an eye on with his promotion to the Elite Split from next week. Jordan Pianazzola inherits the win in the Open Split there. John Merritt continues to carve up, the old experienced hand of Formula V, doing what he usually does and has so often done over the course of time as well. There's a reason why we call him the mayor of Formula V Town here on the platforms of the GSRC. He grabbed a win tonight, as did Alexander Bergersherd, and it was good to see Chapo on the line there with Adam Lavis as well. In fact, we said, didn't Tony Baker mention that Chapo might have had an invoice to pay in all of that? Let me just have a look here. Adam Lavis, no, it's still showing Adam second for race 2, so I don't think anything's come of that, which is good news for Chapo. Otherwise, he probably would have thrown the bathwater out of the bathtub tonight. He wasn't happy with race 3, was he? He had a full-blown sense of humour failure, as I'm about to do, dealing with some of the comments that have hit my inbox in the last few hours, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed that. Watch this space with regards to that big news that I spoke of at the start of the broadcast. The High-Tech Oil Super Series is no more. The series will go on, but they're looking for a new naming rights sponsor on the back of High-Tech pulling the plug. And trust me, I've had credible sources on the phone throughout the course of the afternoon, divulging some intel that gave me enough that I needed to be able to pass that information on to you. But there's more that I can't say at the moment because obviously we know all of that cluster, insert next word here, is before the courts at the moment, that ongoing dispute with the AASA and the Benalla Auto Club. It is ugly, and unfortunately, the competitors are the ones that just continue to lose out whilst they sort out the ins and outs of everything that's going on. What would politics be without motorsport and vice versa, ladies and gentlemen? On behalf of all the crew here, before I get into any sort of trouble, that'll do us for Thursday night. Sincerely hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. Watch that space over the course of the weekend. That story had gone really quiet over the last couple of weeks. It kicked back into life today on the back of events that have only happened over the course of the last fortnight, but it's all taken effect today with some changes that have hit the World Wide Web. We sincerely hope that you've enjoyed Thursday Night Motorsport with thanks to Disruptive Labs. We sincerely hope that you'll join us again tomorrow night for all the action from Friday Night Motorsport. Most likely we'll be here for GT1. That'll make Joe Baldwin 4 from 4 being able to bring us the entree. But we'll definitely be here for the IndyCar as Ethan Morris continues, or looks to continue, his unbeaten run as the season gets ever closer to the midway point. We go back street racing tomorrow night. On behalf of Andrew Neil, Matt Schmidtke, the entire crew here, it was the Roosters over the Cowboys in the NRL. It was the Cats over the Magpies in the AFL. We've got the Commonwealth Games continuing right throughout the course of the evening, and so much more to look forward to tomorrow on that front with the AFL and also the Commonwealth Games in the NRL as well. So we'll stay across that when we're back on air with you tomorrow night, and we look forward to your company then, either from 7:25 Eastern or from 8:30 Eastern, depending upon the memo that I get from Joe Baldwin midway through tomorrow afternoon. From all the crew here, before I put Neely to sleep, have a great evening, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.